Ooh, man, it could have been bad. We knew when we did this podcast today, facing a potential 3-1 deficit to a team that you think that you should be potentially sweeping today. First to the floor, Jake Eisenberg, Dan Greenberg, Greeny. Instead, we lose. And as we're losing, like nailed, like the coffin's already under the ground. And then Tatum goes down with, if it's not an Achilles tear at this point, then great. But I think like it's pretty obvious what just happened. I don't really need to ask you how you're feeling, but your thoughts.
I'm like numb.
Yeah.
I'm just numb. I don't know. I mean, everything about this is just a disaster of epic proportions. I mean, if you want to focus on the immediate and the reality of their playoff series,
Sure.
it was their third straight double-digit blown lead in the second half. They were up 7 points with 5 minutes to go in the third quarter, did not score again. They gave up like 66% shooting or better, I can't even remember, in the fourth quarter. The Knicks, before Tatum's injury, were 10 of 13 inside the arc. The Celtics, they were 50% in the fourth quarter before Tatum's injury. Did not matter because you couldn't get a stop. They couldn't rebound. Jalen was rough. KP was rough. Horford and Drew didn't give you much offensively. And then you add in the reality of the injury and then what it now means for your immediate future of the series, your future into the summer, and then your next. I mean, you want to talk about windows. This is, I mean, the entire direction of the Celtics as a franchise just changed today, regardless of what happened in game 4 and regardless of what happens for the rest of this series, the entire trajectory of this team and this franchise has changed, and not for the better.
Not for the better.
So what do you do? How do you process that? What do you feel in that? Like, it's just so inconceivable. Like, all parts of this, I feel like, are inconceivable. It's inconceivable how they played in the second half. It's inconceivable how they couldn't rebound. It's inconceivable how they couldn't get a stop. It's inconceivable that a guy who never gets hurt suffered the most catastrophic injury for a basketball player. Like, I just don't even know. I feel like I'm talking in circles, and I've been doing this for like 3.5 hours already. Mm-hmm. But it's like I just don't even know how to even begin to process what we're experiencing right now.
Yeah. We can get to the game, I guess. They couldn't get stops. I thought that was the biggest problem. Well, and it started early too. Like the second half of the first quarter, they were having trouble slowing down the Knicks. Basically, everybody besides Tatum couldn't keep their guy in front of them and couldn't force tough shots. Derek White got bodied today. Bodied by Mikal Bridges, by Jalen Brunson.
Which is, again, so fucking bizarre for a guy, even if you want to say there was 10% slippage in his defense this year compared to last year, I mean, it's still, you expect him to be able to play better. It just forced, and some of those Bridges jumpers were contested, but some of them he just wasn't even close to contending. It just was not the defensive effort or execution, I should say, that you needed for 24 minutes. I mean, they shot 61% in the second half as a team. They scored 70 points. It was just like a complete reversal of what we saw in the first half, where the Celtics were like 56 from the floor, 50% from three. The Knicks were 42% and, under 30% from three. You flipped it. And, overall, your three-point shooting wasn't bad. 37% on 48 attempts. Well, yeah. Your issue was the shot margin. You got outshot 92-79 You gave up 15 second chance points. You missed 7 free throws.
Free
In
throws.
that final 3 minutes of the third quarter, Tatum went 0 for 5 from 3. Derek White was 3 for 8 from the floor. So it's just like you were giving up buckets on the other end. And even though you were making them at a sustainable clip offensively, it didn't matter because even when you did get stops, Derek White gets a rebound and then travels and then they score.
Yeah.
So it's like even when you were getting the rebound, you were still allowing extra possessions.
Yeah, and this is the problem with going down 0-2, is that like the Knicks hadn't had a good game yet. They just hadn't played well, and eventually a team that won 50 games is going to get loose. Like they're good enough that even though because the Celtics had been so good defensively, three games in a row, and they didn't have the defensive juice today outside of Tatum. I gotta keep going back to that because today
he was incredible.
Man,
incredible.
I mean, at least the lasting image. I mean, the lasting image is so haunting. The fact that it's a Jalen turnover, the being wheeled off in the tunnel while he's crying. But at least we got the definitive, very loud 42 points. He was our best all series, but again, especially today, he was our best Brunson defender. He was our best Towns defender. They didn't want any part of him all series long. He's getting steals. He's coming over for help blocks. And then also he dropped in 42 points on crazy efficiency. You needed more from a couple.
Anybody else not named Derek White.
You needed more from Jalen. And
even though he gave you 20 points, it was like
no.
That's not, you look at it, he's like, okay, 20 points, 7 rebounds, 7 to 16, but you had to watch it to understand this was, it wasn't, the line won't look the same as his game 7 in Miami, right? But it was just, in terms of impact, it was just as detrimental, and it's just something that cannot happen when you're getting a Tatum masterclass. This is it. Everyone, he needs a playoff moment. This is it. He's hitting the 3 to tie it up, late in the fourth quarter. He's battling. And it's the fact that we are now we're robbed of this for at least the calendar year. At least. He's so good. He's so good. It's so good. Yeah, man. So, Jalen has 20 points. Yeah. One of those jump shots came at the end where it didn't matter. He hit a shot. 16 points of substance, during minutes of substance.
He hit a jump. He hit a layup to cut it to 10 with under 2 minutes to go. So 18
points. Really,
points.
It was what, 14 points or 16 points
or whatever.
Or that layup was the shot you're talking about. Either way, it wasn't anywhere near what you needed, and it's just
with the
story of their series. You just have not been getting what you needed from the supporting others. You just really haven't.
Yeah, and Jalen did. It's what's sad as well. Tatum got credited with the turnover at the very end that he got injured.
Well, so here's what's so fucking stupid about life and about sports. I watched that entire exchange frame by fucking frame as I am, wanting to put a needle in my eye. If Tatum's pass is an inch more to the center of Jalen's body, Mikal Bridges does not get a fingernail on the ball, which doesn't poke it loose, which doesn't force Tatum to make that move to recover it. It's the fact that he couldn't grip it tight enough for a fingernail is bullshit. And the fact that when you see him come off that screen and he catches the pass, he has to lean in against his body momentum, and Bridges is recovering. I'm acting this out, you can even.
I'm
tell
watching it,
doing. But it's Bridges is reach. I have a picture of it. that I might just send. I don't know if you can like.
I don't want. I just watched it again, and I don't want to watch it.
It's like, hold on. I don't even know if I can drop in a chat, but it's like, it's the combination of both of those things where Tatum's pass coming off a curling Brown is just enough inside to where Jalen has to reach back to grab it.
Oh, kind of.
Where he doesn't have a firm grip and Bridges just gets a finger on. Like, think of how different your life, even if you say, okay, they were down like 7 points at that moment, so they may not win the game. Okay, fine. But a healthy Jason Tatum is your season's not dead. If both of those things are just marginally different. A Tatum pass is an inch more into the center of Jalen's body. And if Jalen is able to grip the ball strong enough to have it not poked off by a finger, it's like, what do you even fucking say?
I will say, like, rewatching it again, I don't know. The pass is on target enough.
But it's like an inch. You just needed like an inch. So it's one of those.
That's
like,
sports, though.
Right? It's just like a freak occurrence of the unfortunate turn of events where it's like the combination of it being just an inch too inside and then Bridges getting a fingernail on it in one small millisecond of a moment literally changed the trajectory of your franchise. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, and there's a few. I've got a very short leash today. I banned a lot of people in the instant reactions. I'll be banning people again today. Usually, I enjoy the opposing fans in here. So if you want to not be banned from our channel going forward, then just know that. But there's a comment here: Celtics acting like Tatum injury would have made a difference. You were going down regardless. Great. I would love to lose this series and
have a healthy Jason Tatum.
Couldn't care less.
No.
Everything put in perspective so quickly. It was put in perspective so quickly. Like losing in the second round, coming off a title. Porzingis is cooked. Jalen Brown's knee's not right. Sometimes it wasn't your series. You fucked up games 1 and 2.
Yep.
It happens. And it was made not so bad because you won the title. And now it's just pure and utter despair. At least Jason Tatum tonight can be like, thank fuck we won the title, man. Because if this had happened today and they hadn't won the title, talk about a complete disaster. So Jason Tatum, shout out Turner on Twitter. Since being drafted in 2017, Tatum has played 585 out of a possible 636 games, 92%. Played an additional 120 playoff games, missed one. 5 Eastern Conference Finals appearances, 2 finals, a title. 2019 FIBA World Cup, 2021 Olympics, another Olympics technically. I feel for him. Like he loves basketball, and it sucks for so many reasons. But we, as Celtics fans, have dealt with so much like shit and people shitting on Tatum, and it's like this dude just. We're gonna fucking find out next season, I guess, how much this guy does for this team. And tonight was the perfect encapsulation.
But also, like, to what degree? Because you now have to think, what does this do in shaping your decision making next season? Yes, we're gonna have to find out what they would look like without him. But is that without Jason Tatum and 3 or 4 rotation pieces that we just saw? Is this going to be a pre-Big 3 Paul Pierce 2006 situation? Is it going to be more like a Isaiah Thomas Bridge Celtics 2017 situation? That's what's so gutting. Like you said, repeating a title is hard. They deserve all the flack in the world for what they did in games 1 and 2.
Job.
You deserve flack for how you executed at the end of the third quarter. You deserve, criticism for how you executed for the first 9 minutes of the fourth quarter. But outside of that, it's like, I almost can't even, it sounds so messed up to be like, I can't even give a shit about losing in 5, 6, whatever games. That should matter to me as, given how important this season was and what the goal was and the expectation. But the next 5 years outweigh, this current, potential series loss. It's just, like you said, they won. So it's like, I'm not.
No, they lost his game.
I'm just going to watch game 5 for the next 365 days.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Firstly, there's a couple people in the chat saying you sound drunk. I just finished my second tequila, and I have more tequila here as well. So I don't know if you don't like people drowning their sorrows a little bit. This might not be the place for you today. But yes, man, like this was not on the cards, man. The dude that is the Iron Man, like, this didn't really feel within the realm of possible outcomes. Guy that just had the best season of his career, easily 4 straight first team All-NBA selections, making him one of 17 players. I've got a few screenshots here. One of 17 players to actually do that. Today, he's now tied Dwayne Wade and Nikola Jokic for 30-point playoff games. Tatum finishes this playoffs with 28, 11.5 rebounds, 5 assists on 57% true shooting, joining only Giannis and Jokic with guys that are averaging at least 25, 10, and 5 over the last 3 combined playoffs. And this one maybe been the worst. Just as a Celtics fan. Tonight, Jason Tatum tied Larry Bird and John Havlicek for the most 40-point games in playoff history. He played 43 fewer playoff games than Bird and 51 fewer than Havlicek. Like, Jason Tatum has been on track to become the 3rd greatest Celtic of all time. And this Achilles injury happening as he just turns 27, you lose a year of his prime.
Yeah.
And hopefully, like, we don't have a ton of examples. I got to go do the deep dive on one of the Achilles guys. KD's the most recent one.
I mean, but like Clay was 29, I think.
Clay was maybe even older, and he was an ACL Achilles combo. And Kobe was old. Like, and then some of the other ones were just from like years ago. He's never been a guy that I would say is like fully reliant on like athleticism. Like, his burst was never like the thing that he relied on. And to just shout out some people, super chat, shout out Ahmed. There was a tweet that I saw that Bobby had that Kravitsky was like, Tatum was working on the ankle before like that it happened. Mm-hmm. Who knows if that's connected? We'll never really know. The only thing that could cheer me up is...
You were already freaking out because of how he landed on his wrist.
I know.
Trip. So it's like, honestly, I just can't believe it. I've been saying that to myself for, I mean, the game's been over for 3 hours, and there's so much of this series I can't believe. I can't believe Porzingis has made one shot outside of the restricted zone this entire series. One shot. I can't believe that as a team, they shot 29% from the floor in the fourth quarter and 23%. They have a minus 32 net rating in the fourth quarter in this series. Can't believe that. Can't believe Tatum suffers a serious injury. Yeah. I can't believe the team missed 14 straight, shots in the fourth quarter in game 2. They missed 75 threes into like so many parts of this series are just simply, it just doesn't make sense to what we watched for the last 200 games. That to add in what this now means for the future is like, it's just everywhere you look, you're getting it from all angles.
After game 2 for the next, because we had 2 days off between games 2 and 3, like, you go about your day and it's just like intermittent little breaks between, I can't believe that we just did that. Mm-hmm. I can't believe we're down 2-0. And this is so much worse than that. We're going to be like doing the dishes. We're going to be walking our dogs. We're going to be doing whatever. And we're going to just remember that Jason Tatum just tore his Achilles.
Now, let me ask you something. People are like, I've seen, people tweeting me, maybe it's a partial tear, maybe it's a whole tear. Let me ask you something. Even if the timeline in theory is quicker with the partial tear, why the hell would they even consider rushing him back? Right?
No.
So it's like, even if it's a partial tear, I don't think that means, he's back by Christmas instead of, the October of 2026. So it's like, I guess in terms of what it could mean for his career down the road, maybe that's the better option. But for their immediate future, I can't see why it would make a difference.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to matter. Like the best case scenario, he's back for like the back quarter, third of the season. And it's like, they're not bringing him back next year, man. Unless he's like totally fine. And the chances are they're probably.
Now, what did KD do? Did he
Achilles.
He missed. No, but I mean, like, did he miss the full? Because that happened in the finals, right? So
remember he did the Achilles and then he signed with Brooklyn despite having the torn.
But he
Achilles.
sat that whole. Did he sit that
Correct.
whole first year?
Correct. He didn't play a single game, and then opening the 2020/21 season. These are kind of weird seasons though because of the COVID stuff.
Oh, because COVID. That's true.
So he started the next season on the 22nd of December because that's when the 20/21 season started.
Okay, I was gonna say how many games into that season is
that was the first game of the season. So he missed the end of the 18-19 season, and then COVID happened and he signed with Brooklyn.
Hold on, I gotta write this down. I want to write this down. Okay, so hold on, I want to do the math here. Okay.
So
ready? June of 19.
I can pull the exact date for us. 18,
June of 19 to December of
2020.
2021.
No, 2020.
Okay.
Hang on. So 2018-19, yeah, he comes back for one game against Toronto. I forgot it was only one game on the 10th of June in 2019. And then the next game he plays is that right? The 22nd December 2020.
Because that would only be, am I just dumb or is that?
It's like 8-9 months.
I was going to say that's not even a full year, right?
Whoa. That's good. Because the other season was so short. Am I missing something here?
Again, we're not math guys. But
yeah, we know this.
I'm trying to cope right now. So
but I see in 2019, he had the last game against Toronto. He was 3 for 5 from the field. He played 12 minutes. And then on the 22nd of December, 2020.
But that would have been after the 1920 season. December of 2020, right?
Oh, it's 2019. So June 10th, 2019. I don't know. It seems like he came back in like, year and a half. Year and a half. We're just really dumb. Year and a half. We're year and a half.
Year and a half.
We're dumb. We're really dumb.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, there's no way that he played in the bubble
really dumb.
season.
We're really dumb. Sorry, everybody. Sorry, everyone. That's what 2.5 tequilas did for me, and dealing with the stress of Jason Tatum.
So that's so
there.
do the math, right? Okay, 18 months from right now. That's all of next year, all of next year's playoff run, and then maybe opening night, right? 6 months from May is November, so it's like
that'd be great.
It's November 2026.
Yeah. Again, Kendall, we lost the series. I'm going to give you one more chance to not be a dick. Otherwise, I'm banning you. We know losing this series is fucking embarrassing with the not a healthy Celtics team. Even with Porzingis at like 40% capacity, Jalen dealing with whatever the knee thing is, losing to this Knicks team is a disgrace, honestly. And we can speculate about the Tatum stuff. We're going to have all off-season.
Can I rephrase that?
Go ahead.
I wouldn't say losing to the Knicks is a disgrace. I would say how they've lost to the Knicks is a disgrace. I mean, the Knicks are good. They won 50 games. They, were healthy. It's like they're not a bad team. They played and executed and earned their wins. What's embarrassing is how the Celtics, like, if they had gotten blown, if the Knicks just came out and, kicked their ass and, that wouldn't be, they're a good team. The embarrassing part is the way in which you found yourself in this position. Yeah.
Don't blow 2 20-point leads. Don't blow 2 second half 20-point leads. Like, don't blow a 16-point lead in the 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter of game 2. So to that point, obviously everyone's very emotional. And I think anything that anyone says in the next 24 to 48 hours as a Celtics fan, I think they should have the right to kind of say I was dealing with a lot of stuff. But first, shout out Duncan. I don't think I said your super chat earlier. The only thing that would cheer me up is Flag staying in college for next year. Rest up, my sweet prince. Fingers crossed. And shout out Timo, JB, lead hoops for a year. I'm hyperventilating. Yeah, man. Totally fair. But so Joe Mazzulla hot seat talk is happening. And
Stupid.
I don't think he coached a great series. And I do think that like everybody deserves a slice of blame for losing this series. And so now Joe's coached 3 seasons. 2 of the 3 seasons he lost to teams that he was heavily favored against, which is a fact. Yep. And I don't think that Brad's not going to fire Joe Mazzulla in the offseason. I think you would be I think honestly, I mean, I don't know. It's one of those things. He wasn't great, but it wasn't like the game 2 loss where his decision making actively hurt them, and I don't want to say was a 40% of the blame pie. What is he going to do? It's not like sometimes. What are you going to do? You're going to say you're not going to have Derek White guard? Like I know it's
It's like these are your best players. And maybe you could say, okay, don't take KP out, play Cornet more. But, like, it's not like Cornet was all that effective in his minutes. They were still unable to rebound, no matter what Big was in. Sometimes you just get beat and you get out-executed. That's where I think this win was more a credit to the Knicks' execution as it was, I can't believe Joe Mazzulla cost the Celtics the game. Like, that's not how they lost. They lost from offensive rebounds, losing the shot margin, and not getting stops. He called timeouts when they had to. Like, everything you would want happened. It's just you were outplayed and out-executed.
I thought it was a mistake to not use Luke Cornett as little as he did in the series. And coming off of game 3, Horford had 2 days rest. You knew he wasn't going to have the 2 days rest coming into tonight. He ends up playing 37 minutes. Horford plays again the entire fourth quarter, and it's like fine. If you're saying Luke Cornett was bad, I don't think Luke Cornett out there like in game 2 was obviously like he should have been out there, but I thought Luke showed enough that he should have played more in this game, and you needed to try and keep Horford fresh because you're right. Like the defense was the biggest problem, and so it's not like the game plan changed in that.
Right. It's not like they did nothing but shoot. I mean, they shot 37.8% from 3. They made 18 threes. Like, this wasn't a system or, approach issue. It was get stops, get rebounds, and execute.
Yeah. So I think everybody deserves blame, and Mazzulla not going to Luke Cornett more, because like playing Horford, you like kind of had to give yourself a chance to have a fresher Horford, because he got 2 shots up, and defensively they were like hiding him. I'm not sure if there was, again, I'm even suggesting that there's a Tatum at the 5 lineup. It's like, how much are you asking this Jason Tatum guy to do? It's like, he's legitimately battling Mitchell fucking Robinson on the boards.
Yeah.
And I love Al Horford. And you're like, one of your lines is like, we can't ask Al Horford to do more.
No.
And they asked him to do more again, and he didn't have it, dude. And the sad part about it is like, is that it for Al? Because like him coming back next season made a lot more sense with
Tatum healthy.
Tatum. So what? He's going to come back
what
for.
I mean. The whole direction of this franchise has now changed. Because even if he says, no, I want to keep playing, I want to stick it out. Okay. But then you make it through that season. Now you're asking a 40-year-old Horford to go through another championship season once Tatum is back. I almost want to be like, can we be allowed to give him the OKC treatment and just shut him down? Give him a gap year? Can you retire?
Yeah,
retire?
That's a good idea. Take a year off.
The Thunder were able to shut him down for 3 months. I don't know.
That's a good idea. That's a great idea. That's a
Like,
really good idea.
I just don't know.
Because why? Like, I mean, like he might just want to come back, and we got a lot of time for this. Shout out Jonathan Smithers for the chat. Biggest fear, Greeny. Don't worry, we'll split this money in Vegas in 2026 when we're watching, in 2026 when we're watching the number 2 overall pick that the Celtics just drafted. Biggest fear is Tatum getting traded for Giannis. He's the first superstar in Boston I've seen drafted and play till the end. And where was Pritchard tonight? Yeah, I don't think Tatum for Giannis. I mean, fuck. I mentioned that on the instant reactions. It's a question because if you're the Bucks, right, you're dead anyway. So can you go get Tatum and then the Celtics are like, well, we have this championship team in place. Do we just replace Tatum with Giannis? It's disgusting to even think about.
I wouldn't.
It's disgusting.
But
it makes sense conceptually.
But think about it, right? Because you got to look at it in 5-year windows, right? What gives you a greater chance to win a championship? Offloading pieces. So let's just, again, I hate doing it more than anybody else, but just say you're shedding, say you can get out of the KP deal and you move Drew, right?
Yeah.
So you unload, let's say you're unloading $60 million.
I was like, that's the obvious two that you're going to just lose.
Let's just go with that route, right? Is it a better route to go through that, unlock all the team building, asset things, the mid-level, blah, 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 and then build your team with White, Brown, what's left from that gap year in your assets, and then Tatum coming back? Or is it that group plus Giannis for the next 5 years as Giannis enters his early to mid-30s?
Yeah. So and Giannis has been injured going into the last 2 playoffs, not this one.
So it's not that, conceptually you're thinking, okay, yes, like you could bring in, one of the best players in the world now, but you have to think now, we need to start thinking in a 5-year window, I'd rather roll with the unknown of coming back from Achilles, 29-year-old, 28-year-old Jason Tatum and whatever's left from the gap year than to give up on a Jason Tatum, arguably one of the best players in franchise history, for an over 31-year-old guy who's already showing he can't make it through regular seasons, who's owed, X amount over the next 5 years. I don't know if I would do that.
Yeah, totally fair. Knicks will be 2025 and 2026 champs. We see here. As W in the chat, is this really just a super homer podcast? Stop yapping about the most unrealistic crap. Go, just fuck off, dude. If you don't have, no one's making you be here. Like, we don't give a shit if you hang around.
Also, yes.
Yeah,
so,
and also,
so,
look,
suck my ass.
Larry Bird, 75 years of Celtics history. 2008 banner behind Greeny over there. It's a Celtics fucking podcast run by Celtics fans. Congratulations, Sherlock. But yeah, man, I love Tatum so much, dude, and he is/was on track to be the 3rd greatest Celtic, top 5 Celtic of all time. Like, he's Mr. fucking Boston, dude. Like,
crazy.
The kid that was, trying lobster rolls, that video, and for him to be here for 8 years and do, we're talking about him like he fucking died.
How he feels to me in my heart.
Yeah. I bet he feels like that right now. And like, the good news for him, I guess, is that he's going to have support around him. He's going to have Deuce. Like, I guess if you're going to tear your Achilles, doing it at the beginning of your prime where you have time to actually recover is
it's just
good.
So disheartening because of the trajectory that he was on for his first 7-8 years. In my lifetime, I've never seen a Celtic do what he has done. Like I saw, I was like 2 years old when Larry Bird broke his back in '96.
He's the best Celtic of my lifetime. Yeah,
like brain. Even Paul Pierce didn't even do this, and he's arguably this, a top.
I love Paul Pierce.
Right. So it's like to have. We were finally blessed with one of these types of players, right? We always said to win a title, you need a top 5 guy.
Yeah.
We finally had a top 5 guy who was living up to his potential, who was checking off every historical milestone of the greats, not just, an all NBA player, but a historical NBA great. And to have it just ripped away from you like that I'm sick. I just don't even know what to do.
Sorry, Tice. I forgot to tell the Discord we're going live. Apologies. Hey, man, I'm emotional and a little bit drunk now. So we good luck to us. Yeah, man. So okay, how about question for you? How many games does a Jaylen Brown, Derek White, Peyton Pritchard, Sam Hauser, Luke Cornett starting 5 with Jordan Walsh and Baylor Shireman, Neemias Queta coming off the bench? Because you trade Porzingis, because I guess you're gonna have to get stuff back for Drew and Porzingis in theory. And so what is probably too many games is the problem. Unless you put Jaylen on you put Jaylen on the Al Horford program. Because by the way, Spoonie mentioned this earlier today. He's had a few injuries and he relies heavily on athleticism. Wouldn't be the worst year to be like, Jaylen, we're giving you the Al Horford treatment.
I mean, if you can tell me a similar progression in their production with moderate health, nobody's getting, a 3-month injury or anything like that, just your normal bumps and bruises of an NBA season. Without Tatum, 44-38, 41-41, and wherever that leaves you in the seeding, that could be the difference between a 6 seed or a 7 seed. They will have enough talent. It just depends on, there's a lot of factors, but you're much closer to the pre-Big 3 pure Celtics than you are the bridgy 54-win, 55-win 1 seed Celtics from Isaiah years. There's a difference there. You're competitive but not contenders.
Do you do what obviously you can't do what the Thunder did because there's not a Paul George trade that you're doing unless you trade Jaylen, which we haven't talked about yet. But SGA in 20/21 only played 35 games, and I'm pretty sure that is the season that Al Horford was on the team as well. Yeah, because Horford played on the 21-22 team. And so do you give Jaylen you got a hip injury, you play half the season, you send Al Horford into rejuvenation, hibernation camp, and you get Chet Holmgren in the draft. And the difference is instead of Shea is Tatum's age, Tatum would be a year older, and you now have Jaylen, number 4 overall pick, hopefully the number 1 overall pick. And that's
here's my fear though, because you've now lost a year of Tatum's prime. I feel like by the time he gets back, he needs to be stepping into a team that's ready to win at a high level right away. So is that team a group that has an 18, 19-year-old unproven piece of their core?
Yeah, the alternative is also you just trade that pick, right, for another
instant win now player.
Instant win now. So that would be the alternative.
That player would require heavy salary to make.
That's why. So you lose Drew and KP, and so you're back under the apron, so you can aggregate again. So maybe it's a Derek White Hauser trade, and that gets you to $45 million for the 2nd overall pick in the draft for I don't know, name a Donovan Mitchell type.
Now let me ask you this: how about this? If we're gonna get delusional, let's get delusional.
Again, these words don't count.
But in terms of a thought process, do you get? How much do they need to move to get under the second apron? What's the number?
It is it's quite a big. If Tice is in the chat right now, let me know because I know you have it sorted, but I want to say it's like 20.
I was gonna say, is it
plus?
20 something million? Let's just say
That's what I want to say. Let me pull it up here, but
your only
it's-
other route that I can, but even then, I don't even know if you can come up with the money.
we
My
are
goal, my bigger question is this:
20 million, yeah, 19 million under
do you
this.
do what you can to get under the apron,
30 million.
so you can 30. All right.
I think it says 20 on
Here was my question.
Spot Track.
Here was my
Yeah.
question. Do you try to offload salary? You're keeping Jalen. Those are your two core. But do you offload the salary to potentially try to trade for Durant now? He's your guy for the gap year.
I saw that.
And then you're bringing in Tatum to a Jalen Durant, and whatever is left type path.
Yeah.
As opposed to saying, okay, we're under the apron, we're keeping Jalen, and then
But how are you getting KD though? Because
I know that's where the net is. He's at 54 million.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't, in my opinion, with Tatum coming off a potential Achilles, it does not make sense for you to trade Jalen for this. No. Has to be in addition to, if your goal is to contend when Tatum is back. When you look at all the different avenues, it's just like the best thing is maybe just offload your aging, expensive salaries, have a gap year, let the chips fall where they may in the lottery, and then just use that pick to bring in moderate star assets with the non-taxpayer mid-level, if that's 14, 15 million a year, that you can use. The issue is just going to be if you're moving someone like KP or someone like Drew and you have to get in under the apron, who's trading for them, who can absorb that money and and still make it work. There's not a huge list of teams that are going to be interested in either player, have a positional need for either player, and those that do, who says they're even going to want to take on that kind of money?
Let's look at so Drew Holiday for Kyle Kuzma. So we start there. So we're looking for tank commanders for one season because this is fucked. And Jalen, the problem is, right, like the team that we laid out, right? Jalen, Pritchard, Hauser, Derek White, Luke Cornett is enough in the East, especially, to probably be like a 30-win team. Now, at the same time, I just saw the Dallas Mavericks jump 10 spots in the lottery. I just saw the San Antonio Spurs just jump 6 spots in the lottery. Last year, the Atlanta Hawks just jumped massively in the lottery. So the flattened lottery odds definitely helps.
But you know what? It's also bullshit that this happens in a year after Cooper fucking Flag.
But I think, chat, tell me, I'm pretty sure the guy, D'Ernest,
BYU? Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's like similar type level of prospect. And like and then there's guys below him, like there's a boozer. I'm not going to pretend to know stuff because I wasn't fucking thinking about worrying about the 2026 NBA fucking draft. So I wasn't thinking about it. D'Ernest, and I can't even comprehend how badly I've pronounced that. So apologies to him and his family. But like, I do think you have a unique opportunity. Let's just hope that let's say Tatum comes back full strength. You've got a very unique opportunity to get your hands on some type of asset. Yes, historically we've been a team that drops in the lottery, but we're due. We're due to jump up now. But even if it is the 5th pick, 6th pick, whatever it is, that's a valuable piece to then use to retool and go for a one more chip in the post-Tatum Achilles era.
What I just don't love is what you have to attach to that pick in order to bring in that caliber of player.
Sure. That comes back to who
it's not just minus KP, minus Drew.
Well, it depends on who you get back for those guys. So do you get back an Austin Reeves for Drew Holiday? I mean, he's going to expire. So anyway, pick like solid
You know
role
what?
player.
You know what they should do?
Go
You
on.
know what they should do? They should they should call up the Wizards and see if they can flip Drew for Smart.
I saw this as well. Bring back Rob Williams. Bring back Marcus Smart for a good vibes
Give a
tank
good,
season.
Give Isaiah his roster spot.
Yeah,
finally.
give I to get
like let's just run it the fuck back. Like fucking who cares?
Who else
If
can we
it's
bring
the
back?
Season, who cares?
We got Grant Williams coming off an ACL. Not that I was his biggest fan.
Tyson's available. He's not doing anything.
Yeah, Tice is free. Definitely not Enos Freedom. Brad Wanamaker, the guy that never missed a free throw. Gordon Hayward, get him out of retirement.
If you're like
Kelly Olynyk, Jay Crowder.
Honestly, you'd be like, hey,
Yabu.
Call up Joe Cronin and be like, yo, we have a good business relationship going on.
Do you want Drew Holiday back?
We'll give you Porzingis. You give me Rob Williams. Then we'll be, and it's just.
What happened to the Blazers today?
What's
Blazers,
so frustrating about this, though?
Blazers ended up with the 11th pick after that season. Fuck me.
Brutal. But what's so brutal about this, though, again, of just adding to the pain of this series is the exact thing that you brought this game specifically, like in this series, the exact thing you brought in Porzingis for, you just have not gotten in both of his playoff runs.
It's brutal, man. You traded Marcus Smart, and he gave you one playoff game that mattered.
Right.
Okay, how about a question for you? Because the series is 3-1. 3-1. Game 5, Porzingis said, hey, man, we still got a lot of talent on this team. We got to, I know JT sucks. We're sad. Go out there and compete. How would you feel if Porzingis goes out and hoops? My wife just brought me a shot of Fireball.
Oh, nice. Oh, nice. That's a wife right there. How would I feel? 6% happy, 94% annoyed.
Yeah, I think T says it right here. Fucking livid.
Yeah, like 94% annoyed. Like, it's not about when shit's over. It's about when stuff was in the balance, right? Like, it's just so
that would be so bad.
Again, he's made one shot outside of the restricted area, and he's made 5 shots in 4 games.
Dude, Tatum threw him a beautiful pass on the short roll.
On the short roll, and that was when the game was in the balance. I think it was only a 3-point lead at that time.
And he just soft as fucking shit, soft as diarrhea, just caught it and just failed to grift and threw it off the backboard.
So it's like, it's so painful that, like, I don't know, because again, you don't want to feel like an asshole because
I know he's sick
or something. So it's like, it's unfair to be like, why are you playing like dog shit when he probably can't even fucking breathe? But the fact of the matter
so why is he playing so many minutes, Joe Mazzulla? Fuck.
But that's the thing. He showed signs in the first half of life.
A little bit.
So it's just like, it's just the unfortunate reality of just what you got.
Dude, what if we get to a game 7?
Well, here's the path. Let me tell you. Don't think I haven't spun zone this already.
Hey, why not?
The path is the Knicks think they've won the series. Series is over. Celtics, they get their magnet ball game in game 5 as like the basketball gods, prayer. How you win game 6 on the road without Jason Tatum when you just saw that you needed 42 points from him just to still come up short? I don't fucking know.
Peyton Pritchard.
The path is just, magnet ball shooting and hope that they get tight. I mean, hope that there's a little Red Sox, Yankees collapse juju, but like, I mean, listen, I told you when they got down 0-2 that since 1984 in this 2-2, 1-1-1 format, no team in NBA history of the 29 that had lost 2 at home to start the series, no team that didn't win both on the road won the series 0-5. So it's like you needed to take both in New York.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
for NBA history. So
it's not rocket science. It's just like you can't go fucking down 3 Don't go down 2-0.
Yeah.
Can't go down 3-1. Jason McNamara, I hope it'd be great if we were wrong about how important Jason Tatum is. It'd be bad for you if you were correct about Jason Tatum. I see the 8 games that Jason Tatum missed this season. The Pistons twice. Pistons twice before they became good. The Magic when they had no one. The Trailblazers, the Jazz, the Nets, the Suns, the Wizards, the Magic at the end of the season where they played nobody, and the Hornets. That's been the strategy for resting Tatum for years now. You rest him against all the dog shit teams. I love it. Well, hey, I told you I have no fucking patience, Jason McNamara. That's your last strike. That's your last strike. So, yeah, man, the game of the series is not over. Now it almost flips, right? Where coming into the series, the Celtics were the clearly more talented, the team that's favored significantly over the New York Knicks. Didn't go the way we fucking thought it would. Because
I just don't know how they're going to fucking score.
That is a big. Jaylen Brown needs to be good. That would be.
But it's not even just Jalen's production. It's just the gravity, the playmaking, the rebounding to start breaks. Like they may not score 75 points. I don't think. Like they just.
At least that's good for the Tatum agenda. Points. That's the only would be the only takeaway out of that one. So the odds for the series now, the Knicks are minus 620, which is the odds are closer now than they were before the series. And it's a 3-1 series lead for the Knicks with no Jason Tatum. And Vegas is still saying that they think the Celtics have a better chance of beating the Knicks. Now, granted, that has meant nothing in the series. And the Knicks beat us. Fair and square. Like, no question. Like, they deserve to be like, we fucking beat you. You guys suck. Yada, yada, yada. New York, Boston, et cetera, et cetera. Let's see you fucking fly a banner before you get too excited. And I'm literally every other team. I'm the biggest fan of them. I've never been a bigger fan of a team than I am of the Indiana Pacers right now.
I mean, you know how I feel. I'm a firm believer in 40-20, and the only 40-20 team that's pretty much alive is OKC. So NBA history says, this is going to be their title.
Yeah, I know. That's it, right? Assuming the Celtics lose this series, they're the only ones left.
Yeah, I mean, Cavs are 1-3. You're 1-3. They're 2-2. The Pacers, the spin zone for them is they're like 45 and something or whatever after January 1st. But per NBA history, per their point differential, per their 40-20 rule, the only thing that they would be trumping is the MVP curse, which hasn't won in a decade because I don't think Jokic is winning.
Denver got there. Denver just got there, I think.
No, they didn't. No, they got their 20th loss before their 40th win.
Correct. They were 39-20.
You only had 3 teams, and 2 of them are down 3 or 1-3 is crazy.
That's right. So we're getting late here, Greeny. Like, there's no. I feel like this is like a funeral type show. I'll put this link in the chat here. If people want to come up here, feel free. I'm going to put the link in the chat. Greeny, you can go to bed or do whatever you want. But I got nothing to do, so I'm happy to hang out for.
I can do a little bit more dooming. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, repeating's hard, and the Larry Bird Celtics never did it. The Duncan Spurs won 5 titles and never repeated. It's really fucking hard. And man, does this not reek of the 20? I mean, the different team, the KD Warriors. I'm not going to compare this Celtics team to that team, but they were fighting and they were going to lose a series probably anyway now. But then the KD just tears his Achilles. Klay Thompson tears his Achilles. I don't think it's the end of an era type of vibe, but you're in this big series going back and forth. Tatum's cooking. Man, it's just hard to win a title. And I'm not sure if all the basketball that Tatum played in the past 8 years is a reason he did this, or you're on mute here. You're on mute. I can't hear you all of a sudden, Greeny. RJ, how you doing, brother?
Whoop, sorry.
I can hear you, RJ. I can hear you,
All
RJ.
right. I'm
no,
doing
Green,
okay.
his
Sorry.
Microphone.
There.
I can hear you.
Am I coming through okay for
Yeah,
everybody?
I gotcha.
All right. Show up
Okay.
and I break things. That's my ticket.
All right. I think I muted my mic. I think this
There we go.
when you tap
All
it.
right.
What's your main takeaway, RJ?
Oh, step one. Tonight sucked. Pure, plain and simple. Losing was bad. Losing JT, absolutely, positively, blue chunks. And then that said, what I've been saying after a couple of hours off is that there's still a game 5, and we've seen hospital Celtics come out and do bizarre, amazing shit.
True.
And we've taken pride in the fact that the Celtics have, if not 5 current All-Stars, certainly 5 guys of All-Star caliber, plus Al, a lot of depth there at the top level. And Joe, I can suck blood out of the hardware. Missoula trying to do his dance to get people up and going, the whole next man up mentality. So whatever happens Wednesday, first off, I really hope that the fans in the Garden stand and cheer from the tip and don't shut up, don't sit down. Whatever the outcome, give these guys the game they deserve from the fans.
And I think they will. I mean, this is the same fan base, when they were getting blown out by 30-something a couple years ago. I mean, I'm going to be in the building, so I'll certainly do that.
Oh, my God, Greeny, what the fuck?
It's like the
go,
worst
man,
thing
go.
of my fucking life. But I don't know. It's just you feel like maybe this is just going – they don't feel like the team that's going to pack it in on their home floor and punt the game. But it's one of those they have to find a way to score, and I just don't know if they're scoring over 80 points.
If you ask me how they get there, my answer is I'm not an NBA coach, so I don't get to. I don't have to come up with this brilliant game plan. But I'll look at this team and go, we've seen Derek and Pritchard go off for that tandem 80 game. We saw Shireman come out of nowhere with his fireball game. What was that? 6 threes in that one.
Yeah, man.
Like,
look,
you
never know.
Yeah, the thing is, if there's anyone on the Celtics who does not lack the confidence in taking a shot at the drop of a hat, it's Baylor Bloody Shireman. But again,
at this point, just like let's
load him up and run him out there.
Let's see Walsh play in the playoff. Like at this point,
man.
What's the harm? Like there should be no, there should not be a did not play coach's decision on this roster on Wednesday.
I'm with you on that one.
Who the fuck cares? Just see what sticks.
And again, it's
RJ. I appreciate. Give us your last thought, RJ. And then we've got another fella to bring up.
Oh, here. Absolutely. My last thought on this is: look, love the Celtics. I've seen them through all sorts of weird, bad situations. I mean, the good news for JT is that whatever that is, we've got scads of improved medical science, and he's coming back. If anyone is going to work his butt off and come back, it's going to be Tatum. And Brad is all about community and continuity. Joe's a psycho. If there's anyone to do it, he will. I'm looking forward to Wednesday because I literally don't know what the hell is going to happen, and I want to see what goes on.
I know.
And whatever happens, I'm going to be rooting them on, and I'm going to be wishing Greeny isn't too drunk in the Garden.
I appreciate you, RJ, and I'm sure we'll talk soon. Appreciate you. All right, let's bring up Depression. I believe his name is right now. What up? How's it going, brother?
Doing well. I just finished my sophomore year.
Bullshit! You're not doing well.
Doing well.
Lie to me. The hell is that?
No. I finished my sophomore year of college like last week, and I've been
Congratulations.
shut on the playoffs, right?
Cheers to you finishing anything, really.
Yeah.
We're
I
all
finished my exam
finishing
last
something
week.
at some point.
So I've been watching these games, and I just watched this last night. And I'm like, I haven't done anything for the last 4 hours. Like, I'm going to Europe tomorrow with my mom, and I'm like, how the fuck do I stop thinking about this? So I'm just like out here, just on the
Yeah,
clock.
man, dude, it's brutal, man. So okay, well, I mean, that's good to have something to take your mind off what the fuck just happened to the Boston Celtics. But
Dude, yeah, I'm really
Yeah.
repping them right now, man.
yeah, I mean, this fucking Lucky Beanie did fucking shit all. I'll tell you that. That was a red herring. But yeah, I mean, the good news is we won the title, and I still kind of believe in like the fabric of this team. And once Jason Tatum, I think, gets over the initial like devastation of what he's doing, like KD is going to be like, I'm guessing going to be like one of his first phone calls once he settles down, and Tatum will be back in the gym like faster than anyone should be back in the gym. Maybe this is the thing that turns him into an actual good shooter. You know, it wouldn't shock me if like of all people, like he is a complete psycho. He's gonna be like I remember when Gordon our second like catastrophic injury in less than a decade, snapped his leg in half, and there was like the stories about picking up his marbles with his feet, and he was shooting jumpers in a chair. I thought he was going to come back like Steph Curry, and I'm not sure that he didn't. What not being able to shoot was not necessarily his problem. It was more his mental fortitude, where I don't think that that's going to be something that Jason Tatum struggles with. Where this could be. Hey, the comeback's going to be just as good as the first part.
I'm not ready to say, hey, an Achilles tear might actually be a good thing.
Shut up, Greeny. Come on.
I can do it. I'm not.
I am like low-key worried about the mental thing because, like, you know, you see JT getting shit on in the beginning of the playoffs, and it's just so sad for him to go out like with such a great game. Like, I'm really hoping he's able to.
This was his, you know, I don't want to say it was his moment, but like, for what the world demanded of him in that spot, he gave you. And to lose a game like that is tough enough, but then to also have this happen is like, I mean, only the Celtics, man. I'm telling you,
bro.
This is the Celtics of my lifetime.
I was gonna say
this is what has molded me. You know, the Len Bias, the Patino era, everything. It's just
this is episode 7 and 8 of Celtic City. Depression. Thank you for joining us. Do you have any closing remarks you'd like to leave the people with?
I just had a question for y'all because
go ahead.
Who do you think will like win now? I guess and now that you're like taken out of the scenario, is that too early to think about it or
no. I mean,
I think OKC is going to win the whole thing.
So do I.
I'm a believer in the contender profile. I think, you know, the Pacers could make a finals with how they're playing. I just, you know, NBA history says plus 13-point differential. You know, that's every team that's
some crazy shit happened though. We've already seen some crazy shit.
I think Denver, because Denver had a chance to win that thing. They're up 7 kind of late in the fourth quarter there, and they kind of
well, if Denver made it, they get cooked by Minnesota. So I think Minnesota ends up making it to the finals, right? Minnesota.
They won today. Yeah, they look good.
Yeah.
Again, I just don't care. Like fuck it. Like I just don't.
Ben Vallis, our fearless leader, is like, "What is going on? We're bringing people up on stage," and I'm like, "Yeah, dude.
Yeah, man, we're grieving." Okay?
Yeah, Jake got a little bit drunk, and he's just like, "Everybody, get in here." All right, appreciate you, man.
Yeah, of course, thank you.
Talk soon.
Have a good flight.
All right, let's bring up Agony. I believe was next in line.
What are these names? What the fuck is going on, man? Jesus.
Oh, what's up, dude? How you doing?
I'm dying. After the game, I did a move for like 1 or 2 hours on the couch. I was just like doom scrolling.
Yeah. It's be careful with the doom scrolling. As someone that's a chronic doom scroller, it's a trap you can be trapped in, for lack of a better word to describe being trapped. But I don't know. Do you give us your Celtics fandom? Do you have a question, or you just want to come up here and tell us that you're in pain and really like?
I'm just grieving right now. Don't know how to cope with this right now. Yeah. I'm kind of like starting up my trade machine, to be honest with you.
Okay, who's going in the trade machine first?
KP for sure.
Yeah, I think that's a good choice.
Yeah.
I think that's a good choice, sadly.
Yeah.
And he got anything good for us? Because I got fucking ridiculed about halfway through the season for putting KP in the trade machine. And you know who would have been more helpful than Kristaps Porzingis? Me, I'm pretty sure. So
Honestly.
Nikola Vucevic, Nicholas Claxton, John Collins. There's a bunch of guys. Jakob Poeltl.
Listen, I don't want to bring up a sensitive subject, but you did just have ankle surgery. So, like, how?
Yeah.
Look, hey, today is not the best time for Jake to play in a playoff game at Madison Square Garden, I would say, considering I'm getting stitches out of my ankle tomorrow. But that's fair. And, the 5'7" as opposed to 6'7" thing might be a problem also.
Yeah.
But Agony, appreciate you. Do you have a favorite? Do you have a favorite trade that you've come up with previously before we bring up our big dog Rivens? I see in the chat here.
Well, this is completely impossible, but Zubac is
that's the one.
yeah.
Jason Tatum
What
and
does he
James
make?
Zubats.
Well,
I
shit.
think
He probably
he makes nothing.
His contract situation is he
Making
even
it.
is he even signed for 2 more years? Would Jason
Yeah.
Tatum even get to play with him? I
No,
mean,
Zubats is on like one of the best contracts in the league. He's got 3 more years at like 18, 19, and 20. They're not the problem with the Clippers is they have no incentive to trade anyone good because they don't own any of their own picks.
right.
But Brad Stevens, Worker, Nico, Harrison, Tinkerbell, Magic, maybe. That could be good. Agony, appreciate you. Talk soon, brother.
Thank you.
All right, here we go. Rivens. Here we go, brother.
Jakey, you make me laugh. Baby steps, mate. You got to touch the rim first before you can replace Kristoff, mate.
That's a fair point. Hey, are we sure Kristaps can touch the rim? No, to be fair, Kristaps
Are we sure
actually
Jake can touch the rim? That's the big question.
That's the better question.
Okay, can I say something as a snobby American? The Australian accents are making me feel better.
Well, there you go. That's what we're here.
I'm glad.
I don't know about anybody else that's watching, but for me, it's helping me.
We're here to
I'm
give
glad.
back life to the dead, really. So
I'm glad.
What you're saying, I think the reason we're in the trouble is that we're missing KP because it leaves.
Oh yeah.
He in the paint, both defending and attacking. He gives us the thing. If we're not shooting out 3, we can only work it out with KP because JT and JT does it every now and then, but Jalen, they're handling. They get smothered in the rim. They can't handle it.
It's honestly it's his lack of, because again, he was the bailout alternative plan B offense. So you got nothing from him, and then you didn't get anything from Hauser the whole series due to injury. Those are big ancillary pieces that are supposed, in theory, when things are working as they should, those are the things that can get you out of your ruts, that you just did not have, and you don't have the depth to make up for it. Right now, Al's playing longer. His gas is burning. You have Jalen and Tatum's, the weight and their responsibility goes up, and defenses are honing on them. I mean, you look at what they shot from 2-point all series, it's under 25% in the paint. That's why you traded for Porzingis.
And he offered you the 3-point outside as well. So, I mean, this is what we're really missing. And this is what we're...
Rivens, it's an obvious, but it's everything because this team was trying to go back to fucking back. And the only teams that go back to fucking back are all-time great teams. And to be an all-time great team, you needed Kristaps Porzingis to be
You need help.
Kristaps Porzingis.
Right.
20 points per game.
It's so
And
fucked.
elite
Like,
efficiency.
man, we're finally out of the Orlando defensive hell.
I know.
Like, this is the perfect matchup for him. He was so good against them during the regular season. And he gets a mystery illness and makes 1 shot outside of the restricted area. He makes 5 baskets in 4 games.
Yeah, I know.
It's brutal.
Arriba, abajo,
Yeah.
al centro, y para
Okay,
adentro.
Rivens, before you go, I'm gonna have a shot because I know you are always trying to get me to have a drink. Before you go, no one's been a bigger Peyton Pritchard believer than you.
PR manager, didn't I put it on the thing?
Yeah. The Peyton Pritchard PR. Sorry, I got to get this comment off so we can see it. There we go. The PPPR manager, and you've been proven right at every step of the way. He was incredible in Game 3. I thought.
I'm still yet to hear Ben say that.
I think honestly, like not leaning more. I mean, I'm not sure how many minutes he played tonight. No one really seemed to be getting anything going, but there's a real chance that maybe you're proven absolutely correct next season when we get Peyton Pritchard.
This is his time to step up.
It's his time.
As you said, the guy gets selected the American training squad every year. So I mean, obviously, people in the know what he can do.
Yeah.
You know what?
Right.
There's
Rubens,
a name. There's a name I just saw.
Talk soon. Appreciate you, brother.
There's a name. Hold on, let me scroll up. There's a name. How about this for a situation for you?
Okay.
What would you say? Would you say it's fair to assume that a team like the Houston Rockets needs offense and needs scoring and needs spacing?
OU, welcome to the chat.
All right, how you doing? Nah.
Oh hell yeah!
No.
Hell yeah!
But I do impersonations of different accents. and
But
stuff.
Okay.
here's my question.
That was
Do you try to flip KP to the Rockets for someone like Jabari Smith?
Oh, that would
That's
be
a
awesome.
sweeper. You know what?
Right? If they gotta get, and if they don't get KD, they just leaked today they're out on Devin Booker, right?
Fuck Devin Booker.
Short-term money.
They're out on Devin Booker?
Yeah. I think their GM just said they're giving up on the Devin Booker pursuit.
The Rockets.
Yeah. So
That's just posturing.
But think about it, right? Gives them a 1-year rental, brings in, I don't know what their cap space looks like. Maybe, you'd have to figure it out because, I don't think Jabari Smith he didn't get a $200 million extension, did he? Like, I don't think he's.
No. He's currently cheap.
So if they need to make a decision on that young core, do they trade for the salary slot of Porzingis, that $30 million salary slot? Get the offensive spacing.
They need it.
And then you get your Al Horford replacement and a young big to have a gap year before Tatum comes back.
For sure. And we definitely need to address the Al Horford stuff, man. I mean, I was barely finishing my undergrad when we got Al Horford.
Crazy.
And I finished graduate school. I might have a family soon. And Al Horford is a fucking beast. But this dude was drafted when I was in high school, man. Like, that is a long time ago. I'm 33, so.
Middle school for me, dude. Yeah, it's
fuck all of you guys. I was fucking god,
bro. So
like,
if Al Horford did not go to Philly, he would have almost equaled his time outside of Atlanta at this point. And Greeny, you say it all the time, but it's like the fact we've gotten as much as we've gotten from Al Horford is too much. It's not fair.
Too much. It's not fair.
And it's so sad because man.
Back to back.
But you know what?
Think
of how much worse you would feel if they didn't get him a ring.
Thank fuck.
You're like,
thank fuck.
I remember like a couple of years ago, I think it was in the 22 finals, like he had just lost his granddad and like he just fell to his knees and he's like, Gloria al Dios, grace to God or something of that sort. He was
dude.
He was hurting, but he wanted to prove himself. And he's been didn't he have the record for the most playoff wins without winning a title? I'm like, that's a shit fucking designation.
Even making the finals.
I mean, that's
I probably feel most for Tatum and second for Al, just because he made the sacrifice to come off the bench and probably ended up starting more this year, having to play more this year.
It's so funny. He's like, because remember there was that story after, like, you trade for Porzingis, you trade for Drew Holiday, there's a clear top 6, and there's that like over dramatic meeting about who's going to come off the bench. Oh, Ben Vallis.
What's up, guys?
Let's go.
I'm sorry, I had to jump on.
Yeah,
What's up,
of course. Yeah, there's an over dramatic meeting about the top 6, who's going to start, who's not going to start. And of course, Al Horford comes forward and says, I will sacrifice my clear Hall of Fame career. And he was our starter for the entire title run. He's been our starter for this entire playoff run. And I don't know what Joe Greeny's doing over there.
You're right.
My computer's about to die. I had to.
But yeah, it's like we tried to find the Al Horford replacement, and we traded for the ghost of the unicorn past. Sadly, Ben Vallis, welcome in.
Thank you.
Now let's get to some dooming. All right. Now let's.
I got about 5 minutes and then I got to bounce. But I saw Jake and Greeny, you absolute legends, bringing people up for the therapy session. That's the time of year to do it. These are dark times. What's up, Greeny?
Nothing good.
Not much, dude.
It's not good.
Ben, give us your whatever you're feeling, and then we gotta hear from OU one more time, and then we'll get the next guest up on stage.
Yeah, I like to keep it pretty healthy diet wise. After we got off instant reactions, I ordered a cake, a chocolate cake, Uber Eats to be brought to my house, and I'm proud to say I ate the whole thing. Eating my feelings. It's extreme times. I can't drink because I have to drive later tonight. So I'm not emotionally ready for to trade anyone yet, but wake up tomorrow and I'll be on the trade machine with the rest of you.
Are you just what's gonna just give closing remarks, questions, concerns, whatever you want.
We have a lot to reflect on. We definitely need big steps. I'm glad we have Peyton Pritchard. At the very least, we have something with
there we go.
We've got. I've been a long time Peyton Pritchard guy.
Let's go.
I think Derek White was one of the few guys who kind of showed up today. I mean, he was like on some Steph Curry shit. Just he was hot as fuck tonight in the beginning, and then everybody else cooled down towards the end. But we definitely need to address our big step and definitely get some capable backup wings. Because if Hauser's hurt, or hopefully Shireman comes into his own. But yeah, it's going to be a kind of a shit year. I think this upcoming one, whether it
could be fun
to free agency or injuries or whatever.
No expectations, all vibes.
Yeah, dude.
No expectations, all vibes.
I think we'll really get to see what Joe Mazzulla can do as a coach, like without a loaded roster. I think that's the opportunity because, you could put you and I out there to coach, and it wouldn't make a difference sometimes, right? Like just Chuck Breeds, 5 out.
I'm not.
Run some fucking plays, man.
I mean, I don't subscribe to that theory.
Yeah, I'm not sure about
broken to fight.
I don't know.
Yeah. OU, I've seen you in the chat before. Appreciate you hopping on. Appreciate the support, and good to talk to you in real life. Right, talk soon. All right, I'm assuming this says straight up not having a good time here.
In a padded room.
Yeah, here we go. What's up, man?
Yes, I'm here from the inside of a padded cell. This is because if you recognize me as Bleed from the YouTube chat, I am having my own private crash out over the results of that game. That is why I am here.
I'd imagine so.
A padded cell.
Yeah. Is there anything in particular you'd like to ask us, or topic you'd like us to cover?
So I had a very, very silly idea. Trading what we could, not JB, specifically not JB, to the Clippers, like say KP and Drew for Kawhi. Okay. So the idea would be like, who is the best talent we could get that feasibly would sit out a shit ton of games for the 25-26 season?
Oh, okay.
Bring them back online for 26 to 27, theoretically, to help lighten the burden on JT. Maybe cycle them back in and out. And have like Derek White, Jason Tatum, like a high-level draft pick from the 2026 run on talent, Kawhi, and say Brad decides to pull off the near impossible and get Giannis for JB and whatever.
I gotta be honest, my head is spinning right now. I
thought we were with the Clippers.
So we're trading for Kawhi and Giannis. So 2027.
I think I understand why you're in the padded cell.
Yeah, this is
it's all good. Safe space.
Like, total ass pull, but like if Brad decides to go quote unquote as the urban youth say, sicko mode, we could theoretically have Derek White, Jason Tatum, Kawhi Leonard, and Giannis Antetokounmpo, plus some random dude from the 2026 NBA draft who was picked like hopefully top 5.
That'd be good.
And we prepared to
listen. It's a tough time. There's no judgment here. It's a tough time right now.
People are asking for you to make sure you stay inside of that padded room.
Let me see the chat. Yeah. Keep me in there for a while. Yeah.
No. He's like, I have no choice, bro.
The beginning of the 2025-2026 NBA season. Unless
Yeah, hey.
somebody decides to crash a few Boeing 777s into Madison Square Garden. You know, like
All right.
Eastern Conference Finals Game 1. God just decides to lob a few just a few.
All right. I appreciate you a lot, and I think for the sanctity of us making sure that we can keep posting on YouTube, I'm just going to remove you for now. But I really appreciate your
I love the passion. I love the
great passion.
Yeah,
10
we
out of
love
10.
you. Yeah, you're a legend. This will live on for forever. And till next time, go Celtics. I think that's the safest option. Yeah, man. If we can end up with Jason Tatum, Kawhi, and Giannis, and you use Kawhi, you just give him a year off, sure. But how realistic that is, it doesn't really matter how realistic any of this is, I think, at this point in any of our lives. But, yeah.
Is there like a treasure trove of talent to be gotten back from a team? Again, safe space, so forgive me. Haven't done the numbers here. Like the Wizards, I've always been a huge like Bilal Coulibaly fan, always been in like their few short years that he's been in the league. Can you offer up a Jaylen Brown, hypothetically, to a team that is just excited to have that level of all-NBA talent for the first time in forever and leverage off of them like all of their young talent, which we now have probably 2 years to develop in a Jason Tatumless immediate future?
So that's what I was telling Jake. The what makes this so tricky is because you've now lost a year of Tatum's prime, you kind of need him to be able to be coming back into a team that's like in contention or ready to contend. That can't be 3 years away from being 3 years away because now you're at a post Achilles, Jason Tatum. So it's like if you do make a trade, it has to be for good enough talent to keep you competitive, but the talent that has that skill level, you need to move contracts that those teams probably don't want.
Yeah.
So like, really, what can you even do? It's like,
fuck.
No, I think that's what can you even do? We don't know. Like, do the Wizards in the midst of getting fucked by the draft lottery, gods, look and be like, hey man, we can't just get like bank on getting a top 2 pick or a top 1 pick or a top 3 pick with these flattened odds. We're gonna have to like utilize some of this draft capital or talent that we've accrued and acquire talent in some way. Maybe the Wizards have seemed to be competent since firing everybody from the Bradley Beal era, but it's less about the Wizards idea, Ben, and more as about the concept of what you're talking about.
Sure, I get you.
Yeah, so it's like, does a Jaylen Brown trade give you are the Spurs interested? Are the Spurs interested and someone outbids?
You get what, like Vassell and like
Castle and Vassell, little Vassell combo. Yeah, Castle and Vassell.
Even still, like, are you closer with Vassell, Castle, Tatum, and White than you are with post-surgery Tatum, Jaylen? And I just don't think you're in a better place.
That's the thing. And again, Jaylen Brown, if you're listening right now, I fucking love you. And something I said on Instant Reaction, Greeny, that I think you will resonate with is that there's going to be a lot of people shitting on Jaylen Brown and trying to fucking kick him on the way out of Boston. Mm-hmm. And that's not something that I'm going to be doing. Like, he has given everything to the Boston Celtics. Everything to the Boston Celtics. And if people want to fucking quibble with some of the shit he says in the media, whatever, he went out there with whatever's going on with his knee from the day he got in the league, working on his weaknesses year after year after year. No one thought he should have been drafted at 3 overall. No one thought he would ever even get close to the contract that he got right now. When he got his first contract from Danny Ainge for like 4 years, $100 million type thing, everyone was like, overpay. And it was a fucking steal. And he's proved everybody wrong every step of the way. And massive reason why we won the title. Go back and watch that Mavericks series, man. Like, I'm a guy that think that like Tatum probably should have won Finals MVP, but Jalen deserved it as well. He was awesome in that series. He was awesome in the Pacers series. I'm going to leave the Jason Tatum agenda nonsense aside because Tatum should have got one of the 2 awards, but he has put his fucking everything on the line for the Celtics.
100%.
And it might make sense to trade him. And so we're just talking about that in the wake of like something catastrophic happening to the Boston Celtics. It might make more sense just to keep Jalen and do what we were saying earlier and put him on like a year off.
I would just say this. I'm a firm, you do not split them up. I would think that if they had won this series and lost down the road, if they won the whole thing, I think that they have shown enough that they are your franchise duo. If it's a matter of getting under the aprons, that is certainly no reason to trade him. If you are bringing back a position of need that fits your timeline and skill level that makes sense with whatever is left, I can't expect Brad Stevens to not pick up that phone call. But it's just like, if the goal is it's a gap year, get under the apron, lower your tax bill, whatever, you unload every other piece so that you can have your tools to rebuild around your Tatum and Brown core.
I got to bounce. Just had to jump on and say hello. You guys are doing God's work.
No final thoughts?
Celtics in 7. I got to run.
Oh yeah,
7. That's the.
Let me ask you: do you think that? What would the pain level be for a Knicks fan to be up 3-1 with no Tatum and lose that series 3-1?
Oh, boy, would I love it!
Boy, do you think they would feel how we feel now?
No way! Imagine how can you, man? Imagine Jalen Brunson tears his.
Because that's
none
what
of this
it is.
matters.
It's not even the series; it's the injury. That's
because to quote Brad Stevens, he's like his philosophy on team building is making sure you have a crack for like a good shot or a realistic shot when you have the requisite talent. When you have a Jason Tatum on your fucking team, when you have a shot, you want to give yourself as many shots as you can. You want to give yourself a realistic chance as many times as you can. And that's just completely ripped away from you when something like this happens. And so, but hey, man, let's be honest. The Knicks could. There's a universe out there. We're doing the Doctor Strange end game. There's a universe out there where the Celtics still win this series.
I mean, they don't often lose back-to-back games.
I'll say, as I said before, the odds for the Knicks to win the series right now are less than when the Celtics were at the beginning of the series. So Vegas does not think this Knicks team is good at all, which I kind of agree with.
So frustrating,
they just kind of
bro.
They shut their pants in games 1 and 2.
I mean, this is in the last 8 years. There have been 2 series where the last 8 series. There's been 2 that the Celtics haven't been the first team to win 2 in a row. This series and the Miami Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah.
So it's like only fitting that, they had their opportunities, and to let it slip like that, healthy-ish, it's just very, very upsetting. I think is the best way to put it.
There was I'm trying to scroll all the way up to the top of the chat here, and this came in like 4 hours ago now. Ezekiel Alba. Jake, I hope you read this. Your famous tweet about how the Knicks to win this series became more than reality, and now that bad juju broke Tatum for more than a season. Go find God, my guy, and heal. I will not be taking responsibility.
What was your just poor shooting and
No, my only viral tweet very loosely here was like, the only way I see it is if there's like a devil magic shooting thing.
Yeah.
And that was what happened in games 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
Like hey man, I did everything in my fucking power to like superstition wise. In the midst of game 3, I planned to use the lucky hat from game 3 from last year, where after the second loss of the playoffs, I started wearing, and then we won 10 in a row, which I'd used for the game that they lost, by the way, in game 2 of this series. And so it was an early game, so it was like 5 a.m. here, so it was cold. So I have a pink beanie on, which is fucking right here, by the way, the fucking devil beanie. And then we won the next game, and we were up, and I'm like, well, I can't take my hat off. And I also had my beanie on, hoodie on, and I had the heating on, and the sun was winning, and I was like melting. But I'm like, I can't change the heating. I can't take the beanie off, and I can't take the hoodie
you did
off.
everything by the book. You did everything by the book.
Fuck anybody that thinks that I did anything that would jeopardize in my control something that was possible. So fuck you guys.
It just reiterates it's nearly impossible to win an NBA title. It's like, so when you do it,
so hard.
It's like, because just think about the landscape of the league right now, right? Like the Cavs had a win profile of a team that won a title. You had a win profile of a team that wins the title. The Thunder, were in a whole lot of trouble before Ja Morant got hurt. Now they're in a series tied 2-2. Like, just being the normal progression of an NBA season, we've had anything but in this playoffs. And for us, we've had like the Cavs. It's embarrassing that if they lose in 5, like disappointing season for them. But they don't have the worst case scenario. We are now the owners of the worst case scenario.
And I'm sorry, like, I was a Cavs respecter. I picked Cavs in 5, Celtics in 5. I picked Thunder in 5 as well. Maybe I underrated those teams, but you don't win 60-plus games by accident. And everybody wants to compare that Cavs team to the Hawks team. That Hawks team still made the conference finals and lost to LeBron fucking James in his prime. Like, This shit is hard, and that's why we were so passionate in our defense of Jason Tatum and this Celtics core, is because you watch the rest of the playoffs, and it's like this Thunder team won 68 games and had a top 3 regular season based on a shitload of metrics, and they might not get out of the second round. They were like 2 minutes away from being down 3-1. It is so fucking hard to win championships and win in the playoffs. And so that's why we were so adamant about our defense of Jason Tatum. It's like, I don't give a fuck about what he's shooting in the playoffs. Just win. Play 43 minutes, play 44 minutes, and not play 44 minutes like Luka fucking Doncic, where you can't get a rebound or you can't defend every position. And so it's a day of mourning, but it's also like any day of sadness. You can think about the good times and think about why we're sad, because we wouldn't be sad unless we were happy, I guess.
I'm just
looking at it.
And even though it's just like, let's say they pull off the miracle and come back and win the series.
I love it. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go.
Let's say they just
come on.
Let's say they reverse it. Like, it's then even more fucking frustrating that you now have to go through a conference finals without Jason Tatum.
I said that would be worse. Hey, but maybe.
Like, part of me is like, just put them out of their misery and let me just, go in a dark hole until the summer Celtics show up in July and, we can turn the page. But the other part of me is like, what if this is now, like, you want to be fucked up if they win the title and that starts the opposite? Oh, they don't even, Tatum's not that good.
Wait, we win the title?
Listen, we're going, it's like 2 a.m. All right, we're getting delusional.
Are you on the East Coast right now?
No, not yet.
I was like, actually, it is getting late there. What time is it for you right now?
It's like almost 11:30, I think. I don't know. Time is just time is just a construct. But
I mean, anything is possible. We've seen Luka Doncic traded for nobody.
I'm just thinking, like,
whatever happened today in the lottery. Today, the Celtics lost.
Man, I just can't believe that this is. Losing a series like they have been was inconceivable enough. For this to be their new reality is just it's just insane.
So today, coming to the game, the Celtics were favored by 6.5 points. Game 5. Do you want to guess the line?
Celtics favored by 4.5.
Celtics favored.
Yeah.
We are. Yeah.
Celtics favored by probably 5.
What the fuck? They don't think this Knicks team can win a game. What is going on?
I don't know. I'm being gaslit or something.
What is happening?
I don't know.
It's a 5-point line. Plus 160 money line for the Knicks to win game 5. There's no Jason Tatum. Porzingis cannot put the ball in the basket.
I don't know, man. That's why
they're at home, Debo. They haven't won a fucking home game in 5 years in the playoffs. What the fuck is happening?
It's game 5, which they have lost at home.
They lose every game 5.
This is why I don't gamble. It's like none of it makes any sense to me.
What is going on?
I just don't. Now, would you feel any better? Obviously, the answer is no. But like, if they were 2-2 going back home without Tatum?
Oh no! Oh
like,
no!
That's like a different.
Oh no!
Hey, what's up, fellas?
Is this
you just put yourself on the wrong. Hey, man.
Am I good now?
You're good now, and I don't even know how to feel right now. But go ahead.
First of all, I really feel for you guys right now, like truly. I saw your tweet. You're one of the first Celtics fans that like I really have a lot of respect for. When I look at your tweets, I like what you tweet a lot. And I like how you defend Jason Tatum.
He's definitely not talking about me. He's definitely not talking about me.
No, shout out to you guys, though. And you got to defend your team. But I'm just sitting here. It's like 2:25 in the morning. I'm in the East Coast. And
hell yeah.
It just, the Tatum injury has really made me emotional because I don't feel like he deserved that. He's played in 700-plus games total in the regular season and the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
He's won at a high level. He's first in playoff minutes at his age in NBA history. Like, I think you guys winning that championship and him cementing himself, I think he's cemented forever regardless of what happens. But I think
don't fucking say that shit now. Dude, cemented forever. Fucking guy.
I promise you, I'm not even joking. Like, when you win a championship and you're as good as he is, multiple-time All-NBA player, like, I think you deserve that respect. And I'm just really hoping that he recovers from it. And I think the Celtics' future right now looks a little bit uncertain. You guys have probably been talking about it ad nauseum. Like, this is probably the only thing you guys can think about right now. But it just sucks, man. I just really wish that we won and this didn't happen, to be honest.
Well, so, Joel, firstly, I really appreciate you coming up here. And despite all of us feel in a certain way. Not this guy, man. I don't need this. Get this guy off my screen. Joel, I hate your shirt. Like I appreciate it. And like my journey with you specifically, Joel, like your clips, your tweets, I started listening to the podcast and I was like, he's doing his thing. He's a passionate guy. The way that you like the passion that you feel when you're in the moment, man, like the vomiting on yourself is not a joke. The crying is not a joke. Like you take this shit seriously. And what I'll say is, cause I'm not going to fully accept your, like, he's a legend stuff, because you've been shitting on him for so long, but
I mean, you do suffer from Jason Tatum derangement syndrome.
Yeah, you have Jason Tatum derangement syndrome.
It's a tough time to talk about it now, but
like,
had things been different, it's a different discussion.
Because there is, and you've seen it in this playoffs, which is, I'm like, finally, it's like scoring efficiency brain rot has been what I've been calling it. It's like, the playoffs are fucking hard to win playoff games in, and all Jason Tatum has done is he stepped in the fucking NBA, has won in the playoffs. And you see it tonight. You saw it. I mean, let me ask you this. Who is the best defender on Cat? Who is the best defender on Jalen Brunson? It's one fucking guy. And he was battling Mitchell Robinson on the fucking boards. He's generating all the offense. Is there anyone else in the NBA that asks them to do more? Even Jokic. He plays drop. Defensively, he's not switching. Rebounding wise, yes, Jokic is better, but that's what makes Tatum so unique. And by the way, congratulations, SGA, to having a greater scoring efficiency. You don't have to guard anybody. You don't have to fucking rebound. Let's see you work as hard as Jason Tatum has to work every minute he's on the fucking court. Man, that's where we're upset, because he does everything for us. He does everything for us. Everything for us.
Yeah, we're about to see like how much Jaylen Brown is going to step up next season. Like, I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I think you're right. I will disagree with some points. Like I think
Okay, here we
last
go.
year, I think listen, and
Here we
it's
go.
not the time to be critical
You're gonna
about
have to
Tatum. It's
bump
really
it.
Let's
not.
go. Let's
It's
go.
really not.
Yeah.
It's just, but okay, this is my raw, unfiltered. I'm just doing
No,
what
don't.
I'm
Yeah,
doing.
I don't want you to lie.
Last year, I really did not believe he had a superstar playoffs. If you have the opinion that his defense it overshadowed the inefficiencies he brought as a scorer, you're entitled to that opinion. I thought that last year he didn't have a superstar playoffs. We've seen in recent memory superstar players cement themselves with a championship. We saw it with Giannis in 2021. We saw it with Steph in 2022 having a Finals MVP moment. We saw it with Jokic in 2023. I didn't think Jason Tatum had that sort of playoff run, but I do think that in the grand scheme of things, like this year he was amazing, and I think this year brought a lot of perspective into just how hard it is to be consistently efficient in the playoffs. And for what Tatum does, all the little things, like we're just talking about the defense. Last year, my opinion was that the Finals MVP should have went to Jason Tatum because he took Derek Lively and that lob threat out of the series. So I thought he should have won Finals MVP. Jaylen Brown won it. It's whatever. But I thought Tatum's defense was really huge in neutralizing Dallas's offense. So overall, I think Tatum, a lot of the things that he does goes undervalued. But I think today was also like a perfect encapsulation of when he's hitting his shots, he's like the most unguardable player in the league.
Devastating.
It's just that that's so volatile that we're not getting that consistently. And we even saw it bleed into the fourth quarter where to start the fourth, he was kind of settling for a lot of threes and they were kind of hitting the back of the rim and we were playing good defense on him. So I
But
think
no
he
one
lets
was,
defenses
no one was
get
doing
away with it.
anything.
They
That's-
weren't. And I thought
Greeny,
Tatum was going for 50. I thought he was going for 50.
When he hit the three to go up one, I think it was like 99, 98.
Yeah, I was like, no way.
It felt like a Tatum. That looked and smelled like a Tatum 50 ball.
Yeah, it did.
Those are the moments because he'll make 3 out of 4, then he'll miss 5 straight, then he'll hit 3 out of 5. And it's like when he's hitting when he has another guy across from him, like a Brunson, where they got to go bucket for bucket. When he made that 3, it's like, all right, if just one person gets a stop and makes a fucking jumper, he'll be able to carry it home. And then 2 minutes later, he pops his.
But now let me ask you something, Jake. Did Brunson in this series prove that he could play to that level of Jason Tatum? Did he now?
So today was the first game that he really cooked, right?
Yeah, all around, for all 4 quarters, yeah. He took over in the third.
I love Brunson, and he's. I mean, the foul baiting stuff is whatever. That was actually honestly not really part of this series.
No, his shot making was the story. And I would say that's been true for no one's really been able to foul bait and live at the line for the most part. Like that's why you're seeing everybody has like a 54% true shooting, like Jokic, SGA, Tatum. Even I think Brunson's probably like 58, 59. Because his mid range has been so good. But like the whole idea of their only way to score is to foul bait. I mean, he made the jumpers. Like it's on tape. Like you saw it. And I think if we want to sit here and say Tatum was going on the road making jumpers, well, Brunson made every jumper in the third quarter. Mikal Bridges made every jumper in the fourth quarter. Like at some point you have
What the fuck?
Like it's not
what the fuck?
I look at it like this. When they lost to the Heat through that Fugazi fucking
this was not like that.
Like that's bullshit. It's not bullshit that Jalen Brunson is cooking in the mid-range and getting to his spot and finishing it at the rim. So it's like you didn't lose to his foul baiting and you didn't lose to some like aberration, dark magic, Miami Heat, Heat culture shooting. Like how Jalen Brunson beat you today is how he's been beating teams, all year. So I think you just if you want to be honest about it, you have to acknowledge the shot making in both of those third and fourth quarters.
And Joel, what I'll say about Brunson is like, I mean, fucking just a demon offensively. Like every time if he's open, I'm just like, that's in, dude. That's in. But like defensively, honestly, he impressed me more than anything else this series.
He tries.
But this is what pisses me off. This is what fucking pisses me off. Is it not about Brunson, by the way. I think Brunson, top 10 player, and like deserves the flowers and clutch. Like, he is clutch. It is what it is. Like, that's just a fact. But his ability to fight and be conditioned is what like pisses me off. Like, you see Peyton Pritchard, you see what pisses me off about like the Halliburton. Like, Halliburton's okay. He's fighting in this playoffs. Trae Young, the Luka Doncic's, Bronson's maxing out what he has, and it was never about like do I think Bronson's not a guy or not a guy. But when it comes to Tatum, he's not. He was never built to be an elite initiator. He had no choice but to become this guy. Like, he was billed as a Carmelo Anthony type guy, but with better defense, maybe not as efficient shot making. But by just like, it's hard to find guys that can run your roster. Like, yes, can we have Darius Garland? Yes, people want to trade for Chris Paul, but Tatum had to become like a 1A type of guy, and I'm losing my train of thought for like my comparison here.
Let me ask you this:
like,
if it's being in New York, would it hurt
now?
if you were to somehow lose this 3-1 series? I mean, by the grace of God, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. This is a good transition.
Earlier, of like, in terms of, is that like Yankees Sox 3-0 pain? Is this like 99 finals or 96 finals pain, whatever that was? You know, for the Knicks, like, as a Knicks fan, to be up 3-1 with no Tatum and then to not win that series, is that a level of, would you be feeling how we feel now, knowing that, you know, like, you were right there, you were so close? Or is it like you can't even conceive somehow losing 3 straight?
Have you won the series in your mind now?
Yeah. I respect you guys are trying to pass on your grief to me for the
Let's
night.
go.
I'm a happy camper. We're up 3-1. We're gonna win the series. There's no way we're losing this series, and you guys know we're not losing this series.
No, I mean, it's virtually impossible. I mean,
I will say,
if it was 3-1 with Tatum, I would say it's not a foregone. But without him, I mean, they may not score 75 points.
I will say this to you guys: did I think that heading into this playoff series, I thought we'd win this? Hell, fucking no, I didn't think so. I had. This has caught me by surprise. I'm shocked. I'm actually just shocked. And I'm taking this a game at a time while also like just believing in this team fully. But like, I didn't like the Cat and Mikal trade in the offseason for those to be the all-in moves. We were winless against top teams. The Pistons gave us a goddamn dogfight. I thought you guys were gonna beat us, dude. I thought you guys were gonna honestly mop the floor with us, and I was gonna have to cook up some trade packages to add to the team, but I didn't. So I didn't even know we were gonna be here. So I'm just taking it and I'm running with it, and now I really feel confident. Like, I feel that we can beat the Pacers and make the NBA Finals, and I think depending on a matchup, I think we can win the Finals. I think we can win the championship.
Oh my fucking God!
I think we can.
Knicks podcast.
I want to die right now.
Hey, listen, if we win, you guys lost to the champions, so it's not all that bad.
Yeah, I'd rather just lose to literally anybody. Like, no, that can't happen. So my point about Tatum before was like, he was never supposed to be a lead, like, number one guy, but he does everything else. So it's like, imagine he was OG and Noe, but also he's like a 1A creator. That was like my point. It was like he was supposed to be Scottie Pippen, but he kind of became like a little more than that. But
all that you're saying is that, you know, you're describing what he does, though. You know, you're describing what he does and what he brings to a team, and that's why I felt like even coming into the season, there's no way you can have him outside of top 5. I think he's a top 5 player in the world. I think he's a superstar player. And maybe even looking back at it now, there's only 2 people I'd have in a different tier than him, and that's Jokic and that's Giannis. I think those are the 2 guys that I'm just like, you know, they're just so exceptionally great that they belong in their own tier, the way they could just take over games. And then I think Tatum is like in that Shea, Luka like tier with those guys. And I think Ant-Man is creeping in there too. But I could understand if you like Tatum more than Luka because of the defense. I definitely get that. And then Shea, you know, I think with Shea for me is just how elite he was in a regular season. Tatum hasn't had that sort of MVP level regular season, but Tatum has the playoff.
We got to see some playoff stuff. We got to see some playoff stuff.
And that's the criticism. Like, if the playoffs ended today and Shea finished the playoffs with how he's played, then I
he
definitely
should be down 3-1.
I definitely drop him in my rankings. Like I definitely adjust that. And I don't view him like in the Jokic and Giannis's because in the regular season, that's how I viewed him. But in the playoffs, he hasn't showed up. And Tatum, he has that track record. Like I can't say Shea's a better playoff performer than Tatum. That'd be a lie. Tatum's a better playoff performer. He's done more. He's been in more games. He's won more. So Shea right now is just a work in progress. And I think even me, like I got so amped up about a Shea playoff run because, there is a chance he'd be exceptionally great and just, have the mantle of number one in the world and stuff, but it just hasn't been that way in these playoffs, and I feel like his playmaking has been what's been exposed the most.
Yeah.
Greeny, go ahead, but yeah, Jake, having this Knicks guy here is not helping mental health. No, I appreciate Joel being here and being like gracious, a bit of humbleness, and like just having a basketball conversation, understanding that like if we would have lost a series, that would have we lost the series. That was 3-1 was happening regardless. But the Tatum part of it was not something that needed to happen here. But that's separate. Greeny, go ahead here.
I mean, I don't know, man.
And also, both of you, if you guys want to just leave at any point, please leave.
No,
I
just think
hang out with
it's
the
a
chat.
situation where the Celtics left the door open and the Knicks took it. And I think if these weren't our two favorite teams,
the playoffs is hard.
Evaluating that series, that's how we would describe it. You can say one team is more talented, one team is this on paper. In the playoffs, it's about, can you execute in high leverage situations and can you bury your opponent? And if you don't, if you leave that door open, can you maximize it? Today, the Knicks left the door open for about a half, maybe about a half and 2.5 quarters. For that 2.5 quarters, the Celtics took advantage. They then let go of the rope and let the Knicks back in it, just like in games 1 and 2. So the way that the Knicks came back and won it, fact that it wasn't through fluky, outlier shooting or anything like that, like you just have to tip your cap and respect the execution because the same way that we wanted
to smiling,
the execution of game 3, you know what I mean? It's the same way in game 3. The Celtics went out. They executed like that wasn't a fluke win for them. The same way what we saw in the second half today and in the fourth quarter of games 1 and 2 was not a fluke. That was playing into the Knicks' strength to make the talent indifference or whatever. You leveled the playing field because you were now no longer playing to your strength. You were playing to the Knicks' strength. So it's like, it's embarrassing as a Celtics fan and it's annoying and it's frustrating, but it's like, at the end of the day, they made the plays to win, and I can respect someone like Brunson, who's a dog and who battles and who went toe-to-toe with proven champions. Like, what more do you want somebody else to do on the biggest stage? This isn't like Caleb Martin hitting 10 fucking threes, who's garbage. You know what I mean? Like, Jalen Brunson is not a garbage player. It's just fucking annoying that the Celtics opened the door to allow them to get into their advantages and play their game.
Like they should have.
I feel like that's interesting. That's an interesting point that you made there, because really it's been 3 games like that has happened. Game 1 and 2 was egregious because you guys are really up 20.
What are we doing
for like most of the game? Like game 4, I felt like we were in it for most of the game. Like there was a stretch where you guys took control without a doubt. But Brunson had his third quarter takeover and the Mikal Bridges mid-range shots.
What the fuck?
Just keep replaying in my mind in the fourth quarter.
Splash.
The way he took over.
Didn't touch the rim.
It felt like it gave me flashbacks to when he was on the Nets and he dropped 40 on you guys and in the regular season game. And I'm just man, this is the guy I thought I was getting. But to your point, do you think that's a Joe Mazzulla thing? Like, what are your guys' feelings about Joe Mazzulla? I feel like he's getting kind of criticized for this series, like the 3-point variance and all the shots.
You say under or over criticized?
I think he's getting criticized. Not over, not under. Right. I feel like he's kind of just been, getting criticized for valid things. But, I mean, there is something to be said about this team not having that sort of mental fortitude and toughness that I feel like a team in Houston and with Ime Udoka with less talent, I feel like they kind of did have.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
This is the same team that clawed back from 0-3 made to a game 7. They went 16-3 without, their starting center last year. I just think today came down to offensive rebounds, second chance points, and shot execution. Like, to me, that's not coaching. Like getting nothing from Porzingis is not coaching. I just think his issue that he fucked up was game 2. I think his coaching malpractice showed up in game 2. Other than that, like you saw it. Everyone talks about the system. They got the same shots in game 3 that they got in games 1 and 2. They just made them. So it's like for him, his errors were in how he operated in the final 3 minutes of game 2. But overall, it's like you won this game because you took 92 shots to the Celtics 79, right? You had 15 second chance points. You had double digits points off turnovers. And you went 10 of 13 inside the arc in the first 9 minutes of the fourth quarter. At some point, like the players have to get a stop. To me, that's not coaching. That's execution.
So I'm not a coaches matter guy unless your coach really sucks. I think the hardest thing to do is to take a team from good to we won a title, and that can be talent, acquisition-wise, roster-wise, or maybe it's like a coaching thing. But Udoka doing what he did with Houston this season and doing what he did with the Celtics that season, before the season started, I believed that the Celtics should be really good. They should have one of the best defenses in the NBA when Udoka took over. And it took him half the season to figure it out. Way longer than it should have. And by all reports that Joe Mazzulla was the guy that told him to put Rob Williams into the starting lineup. The Rockets being the 2 seed, obviously impressive as hell. To turn around the culture, impressive as hell. But you still lost in the first round to a team that didn't have a ton of offensive creation, and you did a good job. But I think
the same issues that cost the Celtics in the finals showed up. I mean, they couldn't score. They couldn't break 90 points. Same thing as back in 2022.
I think even last year, you guys had the lowest offensive rating against the Mavericks, but you guys are just missing shots. I think, overall, you didn't get the contributions that you needed from your best players. And I had this conversation on my podcast earlier when we were reacting to the Tatum news and just what it means for the long-term outlook in your guys' future. Do you want for the team to kind of try to make something of a makeshift year and have Jaylen Brown be the guy and try to be as competitive as possible? Or do you kind of want them to reset a year, wait for Tatum to get back and, accumulate assets by maybe trading Drew Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis? Or
I think you do
say,
that.
You know what? This team this team is talented. Maybe we can make the conference finals next year.
Yeah, your gap year would include Jaylen being on the roster, but I don't think anybody would fault them to say get under the second apron by moving your other large contracts, get what you can in a gap year. But I think, we were talking, you have to think of the next 5-year iteration. And is that group better with
what the fuck just happened tonight? What the fuck?
Tatum with Jaylen and whatever, or a post-surgery Tatum with, whatever you could get if you were to move on. And I just don't think you're closer to contention by trade. You go through the gap year. It's kind of like when Tatum in 21 had to go through the playoffs without Jaylen, right? When he had his wrist surgery. You go through it with, your core young guy, and then you reload once you're not in the second apron. You can use the mid-level tax exemption. You have your, you can combine salaries again. But I don't think it would shock anyone if they get under the second apron but keep Jaylen.
No, I think
because I think the fact that you even I think the fact that you even surfaced the Tatum thing is crazy to me. I think he's untouchable. You're gonna ride it out.
We talked about it as a concept. Like, would you trade Tatum for Giannis right now? As the Bucks are fucked. Like, Giannis comes into a championship spot straight away, and everybody was like, "Fuck." But we're also like, fuck it, man. This guy's on track to be the third best Celtic in the history behind Larry and Bill. So we're going down with, not even going down with a ship. We're just riding that one out. I think the best, you want to try and thread the needle. It's it's like the Shea, the Thunder 20/21 season where he has a hip injury, the same season where Al Horford got to take a year off. You send Jaylen home after 35, 40 games, and Derek White, and we get to see what Peyton Pritchard can do, and you get the 6th, 5th best lottery odds, I think like you should really try and capitalize like what the Warriors did, but don't draft James Wiseman would be my advice. And like you have to like you can't be romantic about it.
I think, and I also think
you can't be romantic about it. You can't be like we're honorable. We're gonna try and win as many games as we can. You don't want to end up the fucking. I've got Tankathon up right here.
I was just gonna say we just
you
saw
can't be Portland.
Wizards,
you just got the 11th
pick and the Jazz, right? Like, what did their tanking get them today? Nothing.
Sure, but sure. It didn't get them. Well, it got them. It got them the
6th and the 5th pick. Like that's a disaster.
That's good. That's good. That's not a disaster. It's not a disaster. It's a disaster for them. It's not a disaster for a team that has Jason Tatum coming back.
If your plan is to, unload KP, unload Jalen, and try to lose for a top pick, and you end up with the 5th pick, it's a disaster. I would much rather be competitive, float around in the 6th, win 41 to 44 games, let the seeding fall where it may, and let the lottery, you can flip the 9th pick for something, in a package. I would much rather keep the equity of being competitive and being good when it's not like Tatum's never coming back. So I think you need to bring him a situation where you as close to contention as possible. And I think you do not do that by moving a franchise core piece, personally.
Joel?
I think you have some valid points. I would keep Jalen. I would keep Jason. I would keep Derek White. Everybody else.
Right. Like you can get under the apron by moving outside.
That's what I'm saying, though. Yep. So how many games can you accidentally lose with Jalen taking half a season off, Peyton Pritchard, Sam Hauser, Derek White, and Luke Cornett with Baylor Scheinman and Jordan Walsh coming off the bench? Can you sneak your way into the 8th best odds and do a fucking jump into the 3 spot, and you trade and then it's a Derek White, Sam Hauser plus a 3 overall pick for whoever, and then Jalen off an Achilles.
I don't know if you're closer. I really don't know if you're closer.
We're not trading Jalen still. We're not trading Jalen, right?
No, so but even if keeping Jalen and moving White plus the 3rd pick and White and Hauser and the 3rd pick.
Depends who it is.
I mean, it depends who it is, but just look at the landscape. It's like,
it's 2 years from now.
You need a guy that's, not close to 30, who's an all NBA, all-star level player. That guy does not exist for $30 million a year.
Wait, Joel, are you going to leave? Can I pee? Or can you stay for a couple minutes?
I can stay for a couple minutes.
Okay. I got to pee because it's 2 hours and I've had
I know.
I got to pee.
You're good. I'll talk to Greeny here. I think that what next year is about is seeing who the Celtics can rely on once Tatum does come back. Because the recovery process is one thing. And this is why I really feel for Tatum, because I think it's just a devastating injury, not only as an athlete, but as a person, and how he has to deal with that and rehab from that. I've seen documentaries on athletes.
Did you watch Boogie? Did you see Boogie's documentary on that? Boogie Cousins?
I saw Aaron Rodgers' one. Because I'm a Jets fan, so I saw.
Yeah, Cousins had one on HBO that's like the first thing he talks about is just the mental aspect of his rehab, just completely fucked him up.
So you got to think about it, that you're losing Tatum for the year, but when he comes back, there's going to be an adjustment period for him.
Oh, it's Gordon Hayward 2.0. It's Gordon Hayward 2.0.
He might not be Jason Tatum, the one that we're accustomed to, the one that we just saw this year, until maybe his 2nd year back from the injury, or 3rd. It just depends.
100%.
So I think
not even from a physical standpoint, just from the mental, trusting his movement, trusting his that was the biggest thing with Gordon Hayward is once his ankle was healed, you could just watch him. He didn't want to go into contact. He was thinking about jumping every time he went into the lane. He could be completely fine with his Achilles, but it's the mental hurdle of trusting yourself and trusting how you play, which is what changes everything about the trajectory of his career potentially.
Yeah, and that's the thing with Jason Tatum is I think, there are moments where he can settle for jump shots. So, is that injury going to make him more hesitant to drive and become more reliant on a jump shooter, and then what type of offensive value you're getting from that if it's even more volatile than the version that we have seen. So I think next year is about seeing what players you can rely on to play pivotal roles and the young guys that you guys have. I was a big fan of Jordan Walsh coming out the draft.
Hey.
So, I'm over here and I think, now Jordan Walsh gets minutes. You see if he can be a contributor, he gets developed. And I don't disagree with you, Jake, about the maybe getting a top 10 pick because look at Dallas. Dallas tanked
Oh fuck,
blatantly
dude.
and they got Derek Lively and now they just got Cooper Flag.
Cooper
But it was
Flag.
because of injuries. But really,
Or
when they tanked and they got Lively, just getting that center, it made a huge difference for them. And I feel like where you guys are at, because of Horford's age, because of Kristaps Porzingis's unreliability, the center position for you guys is the
Huge.
position that you guys have to target. And not only in this draft, there's a late round center you can get, but also next year, like filling out that center rotation for the future. Because I think you guys have the guards with Pritchard,
Yeah.
with White, with Jalen Brown. I think Sam Hauser's minutes are fine. Baylor Shireman has shown some things when he's played. Jordan Walsh can turn into like a good wing defender and stuff. So I really just think that this period for the Celtics is just, okay, who are the players that we can rely on? Who do we have to move on from? And just seeing how that goes. I think Porzingis and Drew Holiday, if I were to bet, they're not on the team
Yes,
next year.
they're.
That's just
I mean,
my
that's-
opinion.
They're
Yes.
from age, from Drew. Obviously, you get out of that money. It's just they're the easiest way to get under the second apron and keep your nucleus intact.
Exactly.
The only issue there is you got to find someone to take them, right? A team that needs the position, so guard or center, has the salary and the desire to take on 3 more years of Drew. Like, what's his market? And you can't, to keep the salary slot, you can't just give that. It's not like the Nets are taking Porzingis into their $80 million in cap space and giving you a couple. So it's like, even if you want to say, those are the 2 that get traded, what's their market? Like, what are the options who are even? Every team has guards now. Like, it's not like the NBA is, bare on point guard markets. It's like Fred VanVleet's not going to hit the open market because he knows his best place is probably just staying in Houston and re-upping, right? Like James Harden is probably opting into his player option because who the fuck needs point guards? So it's like even the deals that they want to move, it's not like it's as easy as saying, okay, we're going to trade Porzingis and Drew and get under the apron because you got to find a trade partner to do it. And you can't be giving away, you can't be having like a Kemba Walker situation where you have to attach first round picks.
You can if you fucking trade for Al Horford, you can.
Right. But it's like, if you now need to operate in a post-Tatum world, you can't be burning all your assets just to offload contracts to get under the apron. So it's a pickle. Like that's what's so devastating about this injury, because it's like as long as you have Jason Tatum, nothing else fucking matters. Like you have a chance. But
on the other hand,
to navigate in a non-Tatum world with assets that you may not be able to get off of unless you're giving up extra picks to do it.
Joel Greeny, please feel free to stay or leave.
I need to like smoke a bowl, to be honest.
Yeah. So just leave. Joel, stay or leave. You're both welcome and free to go, depending on whatever. We got a couple more people in here though, but yeah, no one's gonna be offended if you head out. Depression part 2.
I'll probably hop, Jake.
Okay,
Yeah.
Greeny, Greeny, and Joel. Hey, we appreciate you.
I'll say this.
Well, I appreciate Greeny, and also, hey, it could have been worse.
I'll say this, dude. Thank you for a fantastic series.
All right, I gotta get out of here.
I didn't know this would be my life. But you take your W's when you could take them. Haven't been to the conference finals in 25 years. No better thing than to do it against the Celtics. But I really do feel for you in all the other aspects of it. And whenever you want to talk, I'll be down to talk. I'm always available.
Hey, I really appreciate it. Fuck you and go Pacers. But hey, man, you guys won the series regardless of the Tatum injury, because the game was over by then. You guys fucking won the series, and that's real. After all the shit that we talked all season long, You guys fucking won the series. I don't know how.
Unbelievable.
Really? But you guys did it, and I want to die, but it is what it is. Appreciate you,
All
man.
right, man. Have a great night, guys.
You too. Peace.
Jake, there's
All
no
right.
way you let that motherfucker talk for 30 minutes.
What are we spotting? That he was hey man, he was
No, I'm kidding.
respectful.
I'm messing around.
He was respectful enough.
No,
you know,
he was
quick
chill.
quick trigger.
He was yapping a lot about the Knicks and Tatum and stuff. I cannot take it that seriously.
Yeah, if I'm still going in 3 hours, Ben will hop on. We'll see how we go.
Yeah,
what up, dude?
My question was
Let's bring up Mike as well. We might as well get the three of us up here. Go up, brother. But go ahead.
Impression, you go first. You go first.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. My question was, what do you think led to like the fourth quarter breakdowns, for 3 games in a row? Do you think it was like a mental thing, or what was it?
Well, games 1 and 2, I think, are quite different to games 4, but because I thought offensively the problem is offensively is where the issues lie in game. Oh shit, I see who's back in the chat down here. We'll see how we go when we get there. It was defensively the Knicks went off in game 1, so I think it's hard to just like analyze every single one individually, but it felt like the missed shots in game 1 and 2 impacted the defense, especially in game 1. And game 2 was like, if you had the margin, it was okay. Because I'm not sure what you could have done in game 2. It was like, can you attack Jalen Brunson with Drew Holiday? It felt like they left some stuff on the table there. And honestly, for myself right now, I had a ton of takes after game 2, but now if I look at it over here, somewhat a bit of fireball and a few tequilas. So my analytic brain is starting to become.
Jake, the quick and dirty answer in game 2 is everything that could go wrong did go wrong. Just put it that way. It's fine.
In game 2?
At the end.
It's correct.
Like, once we hit that fourth quarter, things got a little weird. Things got a little funky. We took some awful shots. That Drew corner 3 being the one that sticks out most in my head. But what up, Hamid? Hamid was in my playback tonight. He saw me in a tough spot after the Tatum injury.
Yeah, man. We're all battling out here.
Hey, man.
Yeah,
quick thought. Just broad thing before we even get into big picture stuff. I'm genuinely happy the Celtics haven't leaked anything yet.
Are you holding out hope?
Here's what I'll say. So I've known
you're holding out hope.
Hold on, let me just say this. I've known Art Thorne, who's their trainer for I guess 20 years now, give or take. He's their lead trainer. Ironically, Art was mentioned.
Fuck you, Mike. Fuck you, Mike.
I know some people. Here's the point.
Go ahead.
I think it's important to note that they haven't put anything out yet. Now, look, you can do what's called a Thompson test, and they'll know pretty quickly if it's an Achilles injury. And the reality of this is it an Achilles injury? Probably. Is there an off chance that it's something else? We'll know by the MRI by 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. The one thing that I don't know this. I've reached out to the league. I've reached out to team people. I don't know if Tatum's traveling with the team. I assume they left tonight to go back to Boston. I wonder if he's getting the MRI in New York. So that's just a big picture, thought process on what's happening on the Tatum side of it.
Yeah.
Team wise, we can analyze all 3 of these losses and hyper focus on certain things. The one thing that I genuinely question: why didn't they do hack a Mitch at all tonight? It's going to be overlooked.
He's getting a lot of rebounds. He was getting them 3 boards, one of them converting to 3. So
no one's going to care, and it's in the annals of history. Yeah. No one's going to really think about it. But it's interesting that in the first 3 games, they did it pretty heavy, and they didn't do it at all tonight.
It is. So I remember we were in the playback, we're watching, and late in the game, I was when clearly everything was going wrong, I was they should just hack him with 5 minutes to go and either get him out of the game or force him to make free throws. I remember us being far away from the bonus in the second quarter. We had 6 fouls in the second quarter. It's going to be really hard for me to check this right now.
You know what they did?
But-
They took him out. They took him out before. Like I remember.
Remember there was that back and forth where
Yeah.
it was
It was.
like, there was like, okay, you're fouling him or bringing in this guy.
Yeah.
And then they brought in, that's right, they brought in Precious. So they did
Right.
try to get to it at one point, and they brought in Precious Achua.
Tibbs
So-
timed it up really well. Like he knew that Joe was trying to get to it, so then he brought in Precious. Yeah.
But even then, there were points like so. I think what Tibbs did was kind of smart. He was playing Mitch early in quarters, which is very different than what the rotations were previously. The rotations previously were they would play Mitch at like the 6-minute mark to replace the cat minutes, and then the Celtics would foul for those 2 or 3 minutes. Then you get him off floor. By the way, Jake, what tequila are you drinking tonight? Or today?
I finished the Jose Cuervo. I'm on.
Jose Cuervo is a gross tequila to finish. Keep
Hey,
going.
man.
I'm not judging.
Man.
I'm not judging.
I'm a podcaster. What do you think I'm fucking buying over
Hey,
here,
look,
man?
I'm right here with you. I'm drinking a little Redwood
and
Empire whiskey, you know?
Yeah, the next, I'm onto the Fireball now.
Oh, Fireball. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
We out here. I'm with
Yeah.
you.
And it's funny because I have 2 friends coming over tonight that are to celebrate their engagement, and like,
Oh, no.
I want to die. And it's like, the good news is I'm kind of drunk now, and so I'll be
Yeah.
easy to me to like get into the festive
What
spirit
time are they coming over? Like, roughly?
in like an hour from right now. It's 5 p.m. now. It's funny. It feels
Okay.
like, I'm not sure you guys have the sun coming up where you guys are, but it's now
You know,
getting
I'm
to
in
5.
Boston,
It's
bro.
midnight here on the
3
West
a.m.
Coast.
I need to go to sleep
Yeah.
soon, man.
I'm like, okay, so it's 3 a.m. there in the East Coast and midnight on the West Coast. So it's
Mm-hmm.
5 p.m. where I am, and we got the sun going down because I can see the light going away finally.
I
Oh,
went on.
fuck, yeah.
I went over to Hoops tonight in their playback, and Ahmed went on for a little bit. Who's in chat? And Jason
What
didn't bring me on.
What did Jason say? Curiosity.
Jake,
Jake, you're friends with Jason, right? Because I see you guys going back and forth on Twitter a lot.
I know Jason, both Jake and I know Jason a little bit. I've known Jason a little longer. I'd like to think that I helped that relationship along with Jake a little bit.
Okay, all right.
A little bit. You know, I sung your praise to him kind of behind.
You are
the scenes a little bit.
yeah. Mike's got his
Little
little
bit, little
spider
bit.
webs out. Yeah.
You know, I threw some stuff out there. Jason, I think, is just as sad as we are in the sense of like, yeah, obviously he's a Laker fan, but like
He loves basketball.
he gives a shit. Like that's the best thing about Jason is he genuinely gives a shit,
Mm-hmm.
and he understands what JT means to the league, and he knows what this means league wide. Like JT being out for a year, it's not going to mean a full-on rebuild. Some people are saying that, but like the reality of this thing is they're going to make changes. We knew there were changes ahead. We knew that Drew was gone. We knew that Sam was likely gone. We knew that KP might be gone. Personally, I think it's Drew and Sam, and then I think Luke's going to be difficult to re-sign, and we can kind of go from there. And by the way, just a quick last thought on Tenth. Very generous with his time and has come on my playback several times.
Yeah,
to,
he's
like,
awesome. Yeah.
watch games, like genuinely good dude. Can only say good things about Jason.
Mhm.
Yeah,
But-
yeah. Except he fucking didn't have him in
I
his
don't.
top
Yeah, I
tier
know the Tatum.
superstars.
I know the Tatum stuff.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
just
last year.
kidding. I'm just kidding.
But
Yeah,
like,
his coverage of Tatum's, I feel like, has gotten a lot
It's-
more
it's
popular. I
flipped.
used to
It's
watch
flipped in
him
last
last
year.
year.
He loves Tatum's season.
yeah, he does genuinely.
But this is
but
the thing. Tatum just had Tatum had one of the best seasons you'll fucking see, man.
he had a
that's why it
season that
makes
would
it all-
likely be an MVP season if it wasn't for SGA, Giannis, and Jokic.
Well, it's just the accolades aside, man. It just sucks because he was 27 years old. That's the beginning of your prime,
Mm-hmm.
and we were just lose the game. Just lose the game.
Rivens, I didn't say that PP's gone. I said specifically Drew's going to be gone. Hauser's going to be gone.
I don't think Hauser will be gone. Why is Hauser gone?
Look at the salary number compared to the tax. So to be
He makes
clear,
10 million.
makes 10 million, but with the tax where it is, it's 90.
You know, I understand like the implication, but like he's not the problem. The problem is Drew and KP.
I agree he's not the problem. I'm just saying in terms of getting under the second apron, which is what they're going to try to do this offseason.
Well, now they might.
Wait, is
is
getting
now
Drew and
an
KP
area.
off already not enough to get us below the apron?
Yes,
Or-
if they somehow get off. I mean, if they got off
If you
clean,
get off,
they'd be
so the way that you
way
would do
below.
it the way that you would do it in theory is you deal Sam for a pick, hopefully, and then with Drew, you're gonna have to attach something, probably depression. You probably have to attach a future pick and get off it for minimal salary, hopefully. And then you're under the second apron, and then you can kind of move from there.
So, I mean, this was tricky about, it was always, man, so much has changed in the last however many
24 hours.
Yeah. But getting under the second apron is not like fully under the Celtics control this offseason. But now it's very different because it's like, what's hard is, on one hand, if KP plays well in Game 5, I'll be pissed off because it's like, fuck, you finally played well. But on the other hand, like, we kind of need Drew Holiday's and Kristaps Porzingis' trade value to be in a good place.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't have to like dump them. And if we're able to just like trade them normally, then we can start to lower our tax bill, etc. And then the next season is where we really get under the second apron. I don't really understand. I mean, sure, if you want to trade Sam Hauser, trade Sam Hauser, but he makes $10 million. Like, he's like
we're probably not going to get much back for him. There's no team that's like dying for Sam Hauser, right? Like,
like you're not getting much back for Sam Hauser, and your salary's not changing that much because you have to take something back. Yeah. And the minimum you're getting.
I'm simply noting the issues that they're trying to do with new ownership is they're going to have to figure out how they want to avoid this massive tax bill, which sucks, by the way. It fucking sucks that we have to have a conversation about this tax bill, but it's not great. Not great.
Okay. So I'm going to be I'm going to be a little bit more rational this go around. So just reflecting on the idea that
only go more rational from here, man.
Salary, we're going to like kind of scale back our competitiveness next year. My worry is that we accidentally fall into the pitfall of what Golden State did after KD left and Clay was injured. So you do have
what was the pitfall?
So you have talking heads like Zach Lowe, like kind of decrying the commitment to two timelines, where you kind of have a star who like is in their prime, wants to contend, and you can't waste a single year of that. But the roster around him, while theoretically able to contend in max capacity, needs an injection of youth, is to an extent constrained by the CBA. Hence, like they shed KD, they shed Iguodala, and they're gifted with a couple of high draft picks in order to try and keep the run going.
Wiseman, Kuminga.
Yep, Wiseman, Kuminga, and Moody. Now it's not like I'm out on those guys, although.
Well, the league is out on Wiseman.
Well,
the league is out
of the
Wiseman,
league. Kuminga is going to be signed by the Nets.
Could still be rotation mainstays on a contender. I worry that Brad. I mean, I trust him, but to not get too cute about this. But also, that's what Warriors fans would have said about Bob Myers, handling high draft picks.
I think Brad and Bob are two completely different animals entirely.
Absolutely. I mean, but you just never know.
Bob's a fraud and Brad's the GOAT. That's the difference.
I didn't say that. You're not wrong.
These picks are made is when you can really start to evaluate what happens to them, or maybe until they're on their second team. We don't know. Neesmith didn't become an actual capable rotation player on a playoff team until we unceremoniously shipped him out to Indiana for Brogdon. So my question is, like, even if we get these high picks, A, can we afford to develop them? B, is Brad going to pick guys who fit in the system that Joe is willing to play and have the right character to be guys with high pedigree who are younger on a contender? Because something could always happen, as evidenced by what just happened today.
For sure. So
and I may be a worry ward, but that's my kind of biggest fear now, reflecting on what's happening. I think you have to move into a more urgent mindset post Tatum Achilles, or the Tatum coming back era. Is you don't have time for that shit.
You don't have time to develop Kuminga. You don't have, like, even if you draft, like, the best case scenario is you draft Jaylen Brown, and it takes him 5 years to become Jaylen Brown. You take the number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th overall pick, or whatever the pick is, plus the assets, and you turn that into something. Unless you get really fucking lucky, and you draw and I'm not super tapped into next year's draft, but my understanding is that next year
AJ.
that exactly is a Cooper Flag type guy, and if that is the type of prospect you're talking about, then fine, you just take
AJ
him
might
first
be better
overall.
than Cooper.
Yeah, exactly.
I will tell you this right now. AJ Davensa, right now,
Sure, but we don't know that.
it might be a better prospect than both Cooper. He's not better than Wemby, but he's about as good of a prospect as you're going to get.
Well, exactly. So if it turns out that you end up with the number 1 overall pick and you get that guy, you get Cooper Flag, then fine. You can just like bring him in and you could probably just compete immediately. But more likely you end up with the 5 to 7, 8, 9, whatever pick it is, and you take that pick and you just like try and flip it into the best like core you can for the 29-year-old version of Tatum.
We were picking somewhere between like 3 and 10, 4 and 10.
Yeah, and so you take that pick, you bundle it with, could be Derek, it could be just Hauser. It's so hard to move forward or project all the way to that moment from now. And you got the Boozer guys. Like the next year's draft has been billed as like really fucking good.
It's a really good draft.
So it's possible that you get lucky and it's like, oh my God, this is a number 1 draft, but it's like the next 2 to 4 guys are billed as Paolo, Chet type of guys in a draft, and you can flip it for whatever. And because unless you get a guy that's fucking ready to compete immediately, then it doesn't matter who you draft. You can draft LeBron. LeBron's not with. I mean, actually, maybe if you draft fucking LeBron, then sure. But anyone short of LeBron, no one's going to be ready to win the title in 2 years after they got drafted. And so you take that 5th overall pick, you bundle it with hopefully not Derek White, but maybe Derek White, and you flip it into Jalen, Jason, and something. Or you've already traded Jalen for depth, and it's Jason plus everybody, and you go from there. Oh, man, I'm so sad we're talking about this. This is so insane.
Quickly on the Cam Boozer front, since we got here for a second.
Yeah.
Cam has been the biggest winner in high school of any player over the last decade. He won EYBL, which is the Nike competition, every year in high school. He's undeniably one of the best.
Cam Boozer?
Yeah. He's undeniably one of the best hoops prospects in a long time. And I don't know whether he's necessarily going to be better than Cooper as a pro. That remains to be seen. But Cam's really fucking good. If the Celtics had an opportunity to get him, he's Al Horford 2.0. Gives a shit, nice. A winner, and like comes from that pedigree, understands where the game's played, excellent rebounder, shoots pretty well.
Yeah.
Like,
is he the brother who had the
I love AJ Davensa, but like, Cam Boozer would be great.
Is he the one who had the heart? Is it the heart or the respiratory issue? I think one of Carlos Boozer's sons had that. I forget.
That's the other one. The other Boozer.
I mean, there's multiple Boozers.
Yeah. I feel like if we're gonna trade some of our win now talent, say Drew or KP is most likely. I mean, obviously this sounds obvious, but I feel like Brad should prioritize trying to get at least one of Sacramento or Phoenix's first rounders, or at least trading with the team.
Well, those are in Houston, so.
I think whatever Brad does.
Is Houston the only team with? No, Houston can't be the only team with a Sacramento or Phoenix first.
Not with Sacramento. They don't know Phoenix specs.
I want to say the Nets. That's what's funny about this year. I think the Nets had a Houston pick that didn't end up jumping too high, but
I mean, I feel like
and still not having a good time. As far as the Kings go, the Kings are an interesting situation, largely because they have a new GM. And by the way, do you know who their assistant GM is? Oh, he bounced. Oh, he's back.
No. I just hit a button by accident.
Their assistant GM is BJ Armstrong. Which is very funny. He left Wasserman to take an assistant GM job. which is kind of wild.
Yeah, yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. I feel like
Brad
Memphis'
Stevens'
future first.
kind of philosophy for building teams, as far as he's told us, is I want to try and give us at least a chance as much as we can, which is not fucking groundbreaking. And now, like, a way to build a team is like have a chance to win a title every year. But having Jalen and Jason kind of gives you that floor, it feels like. So moving Jalen feels unlike, I mean, it's called like blink test right now. We did our instant reactions as well. Like blink test today, if like 4 hours ago, I said, yeah, maybe trading Jalen makes sense. But blink test right now, if you lose another year and Jalen's contract goes down, all of a sudden you're kind of in a spot where like you can build a very good roster around the Jays and Derek White, similar to how you've done this season. And you're confident that you can be really good in the playoffs. And hey, let's be honest right now. For anyone listening, like that wishes that we're shitting on Jalen or whatever, it's like he was bad in this series.
He was bad tonight.
And he was awful tonight.
I mean, I feel like
the points are there, but the actual, like,
you only
awful
trade
tonight.
JB
We're bringing
for
OU as well.
either a top 5 MVP candidate or a proven second option on a title team with at least the consensus is better on ball skills than JB has. I was wondering if a KP to Memphis trade would work
for Jaren.
Memphis is no, just for literally any usable rotation
as
players
they
could give us.
I think would be the more likely
off the
scenario.
2026 deadline. Because obviously Memphis needs size, they need rebounding, and if they get rid of Jaren Jackson or not, isn't Porzingis theoretically is cheaper, and
I have no idea what Porzingis' value is going to be. It's like on one hand he was a 20 points per game, insane efficiency, stretch the floor, punish mismatches in the post, protect the paint, one of the best rim protectors in the NBA, and then he collapsed and became basically like he basically became Luke Cornett for the playoffs.
Luke Cornett with
Luke Cornett at that.
And maybe that we should have seen more Luke Cornett because he played 7 minutes tonight. And I don't know if you guys want to go back to the Joe Mazzulla thing, but that's two. Joe Mazzulla's coached 3 seasons. And 2 of the 3 seasons, the Celtics have lost to significant underdogs. And I don't think that falls at the feet of Joe Mazzulla.
I think he would have coached the exact same kind of game plan as far as I'm concerned.
But he deserves criticism and he deserves heat in the same way that like if anyone's shitting on Jaylen Brown, if anyone's shitting on Joe Mazzulla, then you should be. And at the same, again, big picture, going back to back is fucking impossible.
Fucking hard.
The Larry Bird Celtics never went back to back.
I mean, there's also no.
It doesn't happen.
Magic Johnson Lakers on the other side of the bracket.
Of course.
So theoretically, we would have had an easier time repeating even in an NBA where the overall skill level.
Sure, but I mean, I'd have to go back and look at it, but I don't think that the version of the Lakers won 68 games. Like if the Thunder were to make the finals, then statistically and based on metrics, they would not be the same type of team as the Thunder. So like,
no, I doubt it. I'm just saying there's no like accepted like star power juggernaut like year over year finals contender who's like proven because they don't have a Abdul-Jabbar type like the early.
Can I ask you a quick broad question? And I don't know.
Go ahead.
I don't know if this has been brought up in the last 3 hours. You guys have been live, 5 hours, whatever it's been.
Yeah. Go ahead, brother.
5 hours, 6 hours, whatever it's been since we've all been doom scrolling, sad, whatever.
Yeah.
No positivity here. What if Jaylen Brown just has a Paul George type year? And what I mean by that is
great.
What if he has the kind of year that Paul had in OKC that one year, where he was by himself with Russ hurt, and he just has like an MVP top 3 kind of year? JB has been very vocal about the idea.
That would be awesome for him. I just don't like that
as
as far as long-term prospects of the franchise go. If your
So-
face of the
Sure.
franchise is injured and your second option is not a reliable on-ball creator, I personally think we severely load manage Jalen, or like
That's-
make up some fuss that
that's
his
the
knee
move.
injury is worse than it really is. Because even if Jalen has it in him to be a top 3 MVP candidate, that's not going
Which
to
he
do
doesn't.
anything for us
Does
in the
not have it.
postseason. Like,
Yeah.
our
Can't create,
goal,
can't
as far
dribble.
as I'm aware, should be to collect as much high-value draft capital as possible in the offseason, or to theoretically send win-now talent to teams that think they need a guy with that skill set, but in actuality would not patch up the fundamental flaws either in their roster or in their organization. So, like,
Or also-
Drew, like, okay, what team needs defensive backcourt help?
Every team.
Every team.
Okay,
But yeah.
sure.
That's at the wing.
Look, I
Who would
man,
Drew
it was
help the least for? That's who we should be sending him to. Just
the
because
least
that,
for?
yeah.
I'll tell you the team that probably would make the most sense outside of next year. Like let's say the Celtics did have a good year and JB does really well, and they decide at the end of the year, you know what, JD's coming back, White's coming back, we've got some good depth pieces around us. We have a draft pick in the 15s or whatever, 15 to 20. It is what it is. We're gonna trade Jaylen Brown to Golden State. I think that's where he would go.
Nah,
Come
I mean,
on,
I guess.
That
but
makes we wouldn't be sending him.
So
A,
for
to the
who?
asset
For
of
who?
nowhere. He already has ties as far as business, philanthropy, and schooling.
35-year-old Jimmy Butler. No, I'm just kidding.
yeah,
Well,
like what are we talking
I
about?
think, like, here's the thing. So I don't think it would be for Jimmy. I think the most likely scenario is it would
Steph?
be a 3-team deal. I
Tatum,
think
Steph?
I think it would be a 3-team deal of some sort. But I think
This is a 2.5 hour idea. Go ahead, Mike.
I'm just saying, you send Jalen to Golden State. He has a lot of business stuff here in Oakland. Cares deeply about this area, and if you can get some draft picks, because the Warriors own all their picks, and a fantastic like B+ player as a third team, you could. You're gonna get
Look,
there.
you
What about
could-
Sabonis?
you could-
I feel like we haven't talked
you
about
could-
is Sabonis in the conversation.
No. Well, hey man, no,
No.
we're not
No,
attaching
depression.
ourselves to fucking
No.
lemons.
no.
No,
We're
I
not attaching
mean-
ourselves to fucking
Couldn't
lemons,
defend
okay?
me, bro.
If we're moving Jalen,
What kind of Boston fan are you? Are you one of those Back Bay townies, or are you?
I don't know what that means really.
No,
Um,
it's a joke about. I'm making a joke.
So
about-
no, hey, look, I've seen the town, and I wish I was a townie. I would be such a good townie, but I'd be a great townie.
You're not racist enough.
That's possible.
I'm just kidding.
That's one piece of the. I didn't realize that was a prerequisite. I just thought it was
my
just
father
like
was
have a
from
good time
Central
and
Mass, he kind of knows about how the whole
Gotcha.
process is.
Gotcha. So, but yeah, like trading Jalen is.
I'm not
like
saying now, by the way. I'm saying Jalen like 2 years from now, to be clear.
It's a only if the perfect deal arises type of thing. Yeah. So I don't know. We're closing in on almost 3 hours here, and there's the fact that we're talking about what we're talking about is so sad. Oh, you haven't really given you a chance to hop back in.
Yeah.
So
What
ahead.
up? Sorry.
Well, I just wanted to say, I know we're in a real negative spot and we deserve to, but check this out. No matter how shit it is for us, Tatum is going to go through his recovery and it's going to suck, and we'll still have done more than the 76ers.
There we go.
Huh? How about
There
that?
we go.
Oh,
These
yeah,
are fucking facts. More than the New York Knicks, maybe. Even if
Hey, look, if the
We're all
Knicks go in the
Pacers.
conference finals, we can still laugh at them.
Remember that.
we need the Pacers to win.
Remember that Jason Tatum started his Kevin Durant Achilles arc before Joel Embiid reached the Eastern Conference Final.
Crazy, dude.
Wow.
Crazy. So
Chicago
we got
a Pope before they got either a quarterback that threw for 4,000 yards and a Joel Embiid Eastern Conference Finals appearance.
Playoffs. We're trying to win a game.
So I think look, hey man, we might just get back peak Jason Tatum in one season. I cannot believe we're talking about this. This is so fucked up, man. It's so fucked up.
I mean, at least on the bright side, it gives Jason a lot of time to spend with his kids.
So we haven't seen Deuce in a while. So
I mean, it gives him more
And
time
the
to
1-year-old,
spend
too.
with Deuce, and I guess the other one who never shows up.
how did this happen?
Jake, big picture. I missed the first, half of where. The
Yeah,
pod
how
was
many
at.
hours? Go ahead.
Where are you at, like mentally?
Where am I
I know
at?
where are you at? Like, how are you coping? How are you feeling?
I feel good right now because I've had 10 drinks and I'm talking to you guys, I'm talking to the chat. And honestly, like that's not really even really a joke. It's like the community is everything right now. Because if you get stuck in the apocalypse of living and dying with the results of Celtics games, which I'm a victim of, and as myself, obviously, like, hey man, we're all just trying to live our lives, and I don't want to get too existential or whatever about it, but like, find your people. The first of 4 people will be here. Everyone will be here, and we're just gonna try and do the most positive thing. What I will say is, like, I'm not gonna be shitting on Jalen. I'm not gonna be shitting on anybody. I'm not gonna be trying to be negative. And if you guys follow this show, that's not what we do and what I do. And we're just gonna try and find the best possible path with everybody's, and that's it really. And I don't know, man. I guess the short answer to that is not good, but good considering.
I mean, at least for you, Jake. I don't know about the rest of us in here, but at least the new Pokemon Legends game is dropping later this year, I think.
Okay. I'm hoping it's dropped properly for me too. Why would it not be dropping for me?
I don't know. Maybe they just delayed because of problems with the Switch 2. I don't know. But at least that's
I don't have a
dropping,
Switch,
and we may
yeah.
get a Gen 10 announcement by the end of the year.
Maybe that's my solution to this, is buying a Switch 2 so I can play that game. But everybody that's here,
26 new mega Pokemon. I don't know. We're getting like
everybody that's been here, everybody that's we're 2 hours and 41 minutes right now. Everyone that's been here today, the last season, anytime you've been at this stream, we appreciate you. Yeah, anytime after a loss, this is what this is, and I know I appreciate everybody. And it's not more complicated than we're all just Celtics fans. And we love Jason Tatum, we love Jaylen Brown, we love these guys, we love basketball.
I mean,
you're
going to need to update that graphic on the bottom with all the guys in it in this.
Months. It's a good chance we're down to it's the Baylor Shireman and Jordan Walsh starting 5. Yeah, sure.
Davidson.
The fact
it's like that photo of like the grocery aisle people like posting after the games with like the interesting whites. You're just gonna have
the
to
exciting whites. Hey man, I want to see what Peyton Pritchard can do. Like everyone likes to, and there's a few people that like to be like, I think he could be an all-star. Well, he's gonna have a chance to be an all-star.
Yeah.
And quickly, just to shout out to the first to the floor family here, 10.2K subs. Like,
oh shit,
Jake and company.
It's all fuck. Whatever, you guys, man.
Gotta get your 10K to get Scal on the pod.
Exactly. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Went 10K away. The subs are awesome, and all of it's just. But like the reality, we started this because we are Celtics fans.
Yep.
And that's it. And we wanted to create a community of people that love the team and create a community that was like mostly positive as well. Like I like to think that we're not like a toxic type community. We're pretty positive and we don't like to over-index on the negative type of stuff. So appreciate everybody that's in the chat. Appreciate everybody that was brave enough to come up on stage tonight. Mike, Depression Part 2, OU, the padded wall room. Appreciate all of you. I love you all. I'm just getting myself the main stage for a second here. Until next time, if I can find the exit, go Celtics.